and contemplation.
Traffic and weather.
I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours and I still don't know why.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Great day in the morning, people.
Start your day with Baton Rouge's hub for information and opinion.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Here is Brian Haldane.
.604 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you, Cade Wassey and producing. Starting you off at 43 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we are broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. Busy show today. News heavy in the first hour, guest heavy in the second and third hours. We are ready to rock and roll, guys. We're going to talk a little carbon capture this hour. Buck Vandersteen was my guest day before yesterday, and there were just a couple pieces of that conversation that I wanted to revisit. Liz Murill had a big press conference yesterday, picking more than 5 dozen alleged sexual predators off the streets. We'll talk with her next hour. Leah Long with the National Federation for Independent Business is going to join us next hour. Alice Glenn, Executive Vice President over at New Orleans and Company, going to talk a little bit about Vision 2035 in the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going to wrap up with a little Foodie Friday. The folks from Ragin Cajun are in the house today, making a little rice dressing. All right, we get started as we do every day. Top stories and trending.
The biggest stories, the breaking news, the headline makers.
I think something is happening.
Top stories and trending, presented by Baton Rouge Metro Airport, starts now on Talk 107.3. Number 5.
Dr. Orlando McMeans has been appointed to the interim Southern University president position. McMeans is the current chancellor of the Southern University Agricultural Research and Extension Center and dean of the College of Agriculture, Human and Environmental Sciences. He is stepping into the president's role that will be left vacant by Dennis Shields, whose departure was announced back in November.
Number 4.
A man with a knife was detained outside Mayor President Sid Edwards' office yesterday morning. The mayor's office said the man with a knife on his belt went into a bathroom on the 3rd floor around 11 a.m. Edwards' security took the knife, detained the man, who was reportedly suffering from a mental illness and was intoxicated. He was questioned and was released to his family once it was determined he wasn't a threat.
Number 3.
A Baton Rouge man was indicted for allegedly assaulting Border Patrol agents with a vehicle, court records show. Evodio Mareda Tavera, 42 years old, was booked into East Baton Rouge Parish Prison back on December 11th for aggravated criminal damage to property and resisting an officer with force and violence. He was indicted for assaulting a federal officer while that officer was engaged in the performance of their duties.
Number 2.
Attorney General Liz Murill says more than 60 suspected of sex crimes against children were arrested in North Louisiana. This is the result of what Murill calls Operation Access Denied, a collaboration between dozens of sheriff's offices and police departments. Murill says the men were engaged in numerous illegal activities targeting children online. We will talk with the AG at 7:15.
Number 1.
How about some awards coming down for Breck? This actually came down day before yesterday. But Breck proudly announces that numerous leaders, programs, and partners were recognized at the 2025 Louisiana Recreational and Park Association Annual State Conference. The conference was about a month ago. The big announcement came, like I said, day before yesterday. But they took home a number of leadership spots. But they grabbed the Innovation and Conservation Award, the Award for Health Equity, Innovation and Health Award, Outstanding Youth Professional Award, and the Individual Citation Award as well.
There's a look at today's top stories. Now let's find out what's trending.
What you got, CV?
A man who is suspected of killing 2 and wounding several others at Brown University has been found dead in a New Hampshire storage facility. An anonymous law enforcement official told the Associated Press. I believe this individual also has been pinned to the killing of the MIT professor as well.
So, correct, through the rental car that he trashed.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah. And America in the Morning was saying this morning it's apparent suicide, which answers a whole lot more questions. Because, I mean, if he got offed in a storage facility in New Hampshire. It's like, there's still be a bad guy out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes at the end of a week where I think a lot of the residents were pretty nervous, and rightfully so. If you were a parent with a student at the university and this individual is still on the lam,
yeah,
a lot of nervousness. So
yeah, especially when it crossed over to MIT, where that was clearly a targeted professor, but
today is the deadline for the Department of Justice to release its files related to the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein after Congress passed a bill compelling it to do so.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath.
And finally,
we're not gonna say. Do you have an expectation?
There was a video of the mansion on the island released not that long ago. So, whatever. I don't know. TikTok has signed a deal to sell its U.S. business to 3 American investors: Oracle, Silver Lake, MGX, ensuring the popular social video platform can continue operating in the United States.
Oracle's in there?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Is that that's the owner of the Clippers, right?
No. Larry Ellison.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's Larry Ellison. The same guy who bought Bryce Underwood and flipped him from LSU to Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah. But now you can connect him to TikTok, which makes him rich. And I mean, if you're a recruit, right?
Well,
makes
yeah,
him rich
that's
and cool.
instant influence.
Right.
Yeah.
Dadgummit. We're at 610, the Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. I bit my tongue right before the show started. And now it feels like it's swollen, and it's going to affect everything I say.
There is very few pains that, like if you hit your knee or your elbow, or if you're eating and you bite like your cheek or something, it's just one of those for that split second, you don't want to be bothered.
No,
more
but
painful.
to try and talk through it, I feel like it's so swollen right now. So I don't know. I'm sure I sound normal, but I don't know. I feel like every word that comes out of my mouth, I'm playing Chubby Bunny. Ooh. Remember Chubby Bunny, the marshmallow game?
Right.
You put a marshmallow in your mouth, say Chubby Bunny, and whoever gets the most marshmallows wins. Yeah, that's what you're in there. I can't.
Well, make sure it's cleared up before Raging Cajun's here.
Oh, I better be. I'm looking rice dressing today, as I understand it.
Yeah.
We might have a few other things as well, but rice dressing today, not to be confused with dirty rice, although it's pretty darn close.
I will tell you this: I'm looking forward to that. But that breakfast seasoning they do.
Oh, the cinnamon stuff
that you could put on like some toast, or I actually pour it into a mix with pancakes. Is fantastic.
Yes, it is ridiculous. The blackened seasoning, and I'm gonna throw one at you here that you're not gonna expect.
Okay.
Blackened spinach. Oh, it's
like sauteed.
Yeah, okay. yeah. Sauteed in a little pan with a little bit of just a tiny touch of butter, and then the blackened seasoning on top of it. Just whip it around for about a minute or so. Get the leaves all nice and cooked through. Yeah. Oh yeah, crazy good.
All right.
We're going to talk sports in just a little bit. Got to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Who's Industry Makes? Well, they are a campaign born out of collaboration and a need to present a united industrial front in the face of coordinated anti-industrial messaging. That's the fancy way of saying it. All the people that provide the jobs and the industry and the manufacturing in this state, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have gotten together and said, we're tired of getting beat up. We come here, we try to be good environmental partners. We're definitely good business partners, and we're tired of getting beat up. So they're teaming together to put out their own messaging, because the manufacturing sector in Louisiana, the businesses support them, the manufacturing sector in Louisiana, they can't just stand by and get bullied. So that's where industrymakes.org comes in. Industrymakes.org. I mean, when you think about it, from the shoes on your feet to the products essential to our healthcare, from the tires on your car to the road underneath those tires, everything starts with industry. I mean, everything. So let the others make noise, and Industry Makes will make everything else.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity
I
Broker
gave up on
Services
that third
LLC,
one
member
because I knew it was
NYSE
either like go to sleep.
Staples
Which I didn't
presents
know when
an
home
easy holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were.
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus, huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sale signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ins 12/27.
On sale now. Secure your seats today as the University of Houston Cougars and the LSU Tigers battle it out in Houston's biggest college football showdown for the Kinder's Texas Bowl on December 27th at 8:15 p.m. inside NRG Stadium. Don't miss out on this bigger in Texas matchup, plus free country concerts, tailgating competitions, exclusive events, and more. Visit kinderstexasbowl.com for more information on the best single game tickets, suites, and special offers for groups of 10 or more. That's kinderstexasbowl.com.
Looking to get noticed? 5 Star Printing has got your sign, literally. From bold yard signs and attention-grabbing banners to custom decals, vehicle wraps, and political signs that win votes, we make signs that work. Get your message seen by calling 271-4096.
It's Eric Erickson. I'm a native of East Feliciana Parish, and now I'm nationally syndicated and right here with you guys in Baton Rouge. Saturday afternoons at 1. We'll cut through the noise, analyze the news, maybe make you laugh and keep you company. The Eric Erickson Show, Talk 107.3.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
It's the Friday before Christmas week, so chances are things are going to be pretty light into and out of the area this morning, and we're moving in good condition. No big problems facing drivers on either I-10 or I-12, both of which are moving along at posted speeds into and out of the capital city area. No big accidents or heavy backups on the board, at least for the time being. And if you see traffic trouble, dial pound 250, keyword Baton Rouge traffic. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by SuperSure. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, not a little sure, but super sure. The seismic shift is coming. Super sure, coming soon.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Relief Windows. Experience, quality, and service. ReliefWindows.com.
Smart talk, bold takes, and just enough snark. Only on Talk 107.3.
Six 17 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Saints looking at back-to-back wins. Unreal. Could they put together an actual streak of 3 wins? Well, head coach Kellen Moore talks a little bit about steps it's going to take to get there. Talk about pure progressions through the offense.
I'm a big fan of pure progressions. I think from a quarterback perspective, it allows you to always have a starting point. There's a lot of things the defense can do, and there's a lot of different tools at your disposal. And certainly there's times in pre-snap or different looks that, hey, I know where I'm going right now. But I think the value of pure progressions is it always gives you a starting point, always gives you a progression, and then allows you to go from there to the different things that you may want to utilize.
One of the bigger things about Tyler Shuck out there, the bigger difference when Spencer Rattler was a quarterback, it didn't look like the game ever slowed down for him. Running through his progressions the way he's doing, Shuck, it looks like the game is moving at his speed and not too fast for him. We're not gonna have time for that other cut. We'll hit it on the back end because it is a fun cut. The Saints special teams coordinator sounding off on talking with Charlie Smith about his game-winning field goal. We'll do that after the break, though. We're pushed up against the Fox Business Report. We'll get a look at the Fox Business Report. We will check traffic. I'll give you a look at traffic. We'll come right back after this, right here on Talk 107.3 FM.
H-Town, what are you doing on December 27th? Come on over to NRG Stadium at 8:15 p.m. for the biggest showdown in H-Town at the Kinder's Texas Bowl, when the University of Houston Cougars take on the LSU Tigers. All week long, we'll have free country concerts, tailgating competitions, exclusive events, and more. Visit kinderstexasbowl.com for more information on the best single game tickets, suites, and special offers for groups of 10 or more. That's kinderstexasbowl.com.
A holiday reminder from Front to Back Boat Service.
We'll be closed now until January 6th for inventory, cleanup, and time with our families.
We will be accepting a few appointments as we will be in and out of the store during this time.
If you'd like to reserve a special appointment, just text 225-928-9644.
Front to Back Boat Services. From the launch to the marsh, they've got you covered front to back. Check them out at fronttobackboatservice.com.
Thanks for your business and support.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
All right, let's head on back to the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. See what we've got going on for this portion of your morning drive. Actually, should be pretty light to start off your morning. It normally is on a Friday anyway. As we approach the holidays, more and more people are taking off. I expect it's going to be even lighter. And yeah, that's what we're seeing out there. Not a whole lot of volume on I-12 westbound coming into town right now from Livingston Parish. We're actually looking really good in a spot that's normally got a lot of volume. Meanwhile, I-10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish looks good. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge looks good. So does I-110. Surface streets, we got 2 things to look out for. One of them just happened, but it's not anywhere near your commute. Delaware at Wyandotte. It's not one of the busier intersections around, but Delaware and Wyandotte, we've got some blockage. And then there's an accident that has been moved off the roadway, but it's still out there. Florida at North Donmore. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. What is it though? Kate, we didn't even talk about this ahead of time, but we were gonna go back and forth in this segment. Having Christmas on a Thursday, I feel like we haven't even started yet. I feel like Christmas is a million miles away.
It feels a lot further away, and I'm one growing up my entire life in South Louisiana. I don't want it to necessarily have to snow on Christmas Day, but I want it to where it's chilly, and we get all these days ahead of time where it's cold in the 30s. The other day is like in the upper 20s.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's gonna be like 70 degrees on Christmas Day. Can we share some of that? Do we get an allotment of cold in December? Can we spread it out more?
Right. Or just time it up right. There's no way to tee it up. But yeah, Christmas Day, a high of 77. Highs in the mid 70s all next week, actually. So, I mean,
it could be worse, so it's fine.
No, I understand, but like, I'm a last minute Christmas shopper to begin with.
That's actually what I'm doing after the show today.
That's I don't need to be doing it in shorts,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just, because Christmas is where it is, like
humidity around the Christmas tree.
We had 2 Christmas parties this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We had our guaranteed Christmas party last night, which is why we could run naked through the building today. Nobody would even know. And the night before that was the LSU Sports Properties party. And like, I'm walking out of that one and I'm like, I gotta take my jacket off. I'm sweating.
Yeah, it was warm. And you go to holiday parties a lot of times, maybe you're wearing a sport coat, maybe you're wearing something nice, something that would fit cooler weather.
Right.
And then you get, Louisiana moisture.
Yeah. But like, it's the other part of that is like, I don't feel like anybody's slowed down yet. Are you taking off of work? And clearly the traffic this morning is looking good.
Yeah.
But like, have you already taken off of work?
I think most people probably after Tuesday are going to be in a long stretch.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
If Christmas Eve were one day sooner, right?
Yeah.
Everyone would take off the Monday. And which would mean that today would be the last day before we all shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd be shut down for the year.
Now you got Mail It In Monday.
Mail It In Monday, followed by Tell the Truth Tuesday. Tell the Truth Tuesday. It's 6:26 to Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. So you're not done with your shopping yet?
I just have one very, very important person in my life to take care of.
Why do we do that? I'm same.
I know exactly what I'm going to get, and I know where I got to go.
Same. No, same. But
I took care of mom and dad and family and siblings and things like that, nieces and nephews, and then I've been putting off one very specific, very extremely important person until I get up for work today. So, but I know what I got to get, and I know where I'm going to go.
Yeah, so. I've got the whole route. I've got the whole route mapped out in my head. So I got 3 stops to make. But I don't know. It's just been so busy this year, more so than normal. We left this on the table.
They still sell vacuums at department stores, right?
They do.
Oh, okay,
they do. Well, you're not going to find a Bed Bath & Beyond anymore. So
you're right.
That's a bummer.
Just to be.
I don't know. Do they still have one out there at Jubin?
It's a very good question. That's not where I'm going, by the way.
All right. We left the soundbite on the table because I wanted to make sure we got a chance to revisit it. This Charlie Smith story, Saints kicker, is phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Phenomenal. Absolutely loving it. Comes over from Ireland. Everybody who's back home in his hometown has adopted the Saints, which is also awesome. Special teams coordinator Phil Galliano with Saints talks about his interaction with the kicker.
No, I didn't right prior to him, though, because I want those guys to have the routine. But I did earlier in the game tell him that, we're going to win this. You're going to kick a game-winning field goal, And so I think it was when our defense, right before they got the stop, when I felt confident we were going to get stopped. And so I just said, mate, get ready. You're going to go win this thing. And after that, I didn't talk to him. And then, it's a crazy scene. You make it and there's 2 seconds left. And I can't even celebrate with 2 seconds left. I'm worried about making sure I have the kickoff team right there to make sure that, they're not going to be able to return one and get them in the position or something like that. So I was more focused there, and I didn't get a chance to celebrate with him until after the game was officially over.
How great is that for Charlie Smith? Just getting wrapped up in all the excitement, getting wrapped up in everything going on. By the way, it is time for the playoff football, actually. Is 104.5 carrying Alabama and Oklahoma tonight?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And then the 3 tomorrow.
Which one's the 3 tomorrow?
Well, I mean, there are 3 games tomorrow.
Oh,
they start at 11.
Games. Yeah.
And there's 3 tomorrow.
All right. So you got Miami and Texas A&M at 11. You got Tulane at Ole Miss at 2:30.
That's the mid-afternoon.
Yeah. And then the night slate will wrap up with, who's in the late game? Did I scroll past it already? Grr. There's only one more out there. What? Tulane Ole Miss was the game I wanted to talk about anyway. So where's your heart on this one? We've got a Louisiana team in the playoff, but we've also got Ole Miss in the playoff. And I know there's no real Ole Miss fans in this audience. Probably not, at least. Well, there might be one, possibly 2. But where's your heart in this game?
Miami, Texas A&M is.
That's the one. Dadgummit.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah. No,
that's the early game.
That's the early game. So,
see, this is what happens when we have a Christmas party and we all skip rehearsal.
JMU, Oregon?
No. Yes, that's the one. Okay. But for Ole Miss and Tulane, are you pulling for the Louisiana team, or are you pulling for the team whose coach left them? I know he's our coach now, but he did leave them. Where's your heart on this one? 6:30. Here comes news. All right. So there should be 3 Buck Vandersteen cuts now. Six, 7. There's 3. 1 is in yesterday's folder. 2 should be in today's folder. Buck 2, Buck 3. Oh, sorry. Red Man. What about Halo? Oh, the characters were out there?
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
I-10 and I-12 both moving along in good condition. Maybe a little more volume as we go now, but we're still in pretty good shape, with backups being just minimal into and out of the area. And the main thing is no major accident spots into and out of the region today. The Plaquemine ferry boat, in fact, both of them are in service for the morning. And if you see traffic problems, dial pound 250, keyword Baton Rouge traffic. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's December deal drops are wrapping up, but there's still time to get the good stuff. Score up to 35% off select major appliances and up to 45% off select tools. Shop Lowe's December deal drops today. Valid through 12/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Closing on a home? Mid-City Title makes it super simple. Mobile closings, expert service. MidCityTitle.com.
Louisiana's big weather can mean big damage to your roof. Our team offers free inspections and guarantees your satisfaction. Call 756-8603 or visit riceandroofing.com.
Just to be on the safe side.
Louisiana's unprecedented coastal litigation has secured the number 4 spot on the National Judicial Hellholes list. These lawsuits target our job-creating energy industry, pursuing retroactive damages for activities conducted decades ago. It's a glaring example of what's wrong with Louisiana's legal climate. This overreach by trial lawyers sends the wrong message to current and future investors and cements our reputation as one of the worst places to do business in the country. Louisiana needs jobs, not lawsuits. Learn more at judicialhellholes.org.
Download the free Talk 107.3 mobile app. Find what you missed each day at talk1073.com and watch us live on Facebook and on the Talk 107.3 Baton Rouge YouTube channel. All courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care. Walk-in care for minor illnesses and injuries. Talk 107.3 weather.
We are turning cooler today after a cold front passage. Expect sunny skies all day long, 63 degrees for that high temperature. And we have one last chill on Saturday morning before things warm up once again. We're going to get near 40 degrees, some in the upper 30s. Then during the day, moisture return begins once again, mostly sunny, highs at 74. And then Sunday morning, lows only bottoming out at 60, getting up to 76 during the day. I'm meteorologist Balin Rogers with your Storm Station forecast, WBRC Channel 2.
This is Ramsey personality
Thank
John
you, Renee.
Deloney, and you're
Appreciate
listening to
the heads up.
Mornings
Just
with
made me
Brian
feel
Haldane. Today at 1, it's The Ramsey Show. We're talking money, career, mental health, and more on Talk 107.3.
Top 5 Christmas song. Easily. Seeing Lil Jon in a Santa hat? Are you kidding me?
When you include the fact that he starts it off with the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know, man.
It's so random. It's like it's Lonely Island. But it's actually a decent song. Take that, River.
You don't think they're mixing?
I don't think they're mixing that. I don't think Delilah's hitting the Lil Jon for Christmas.
Maybe in the overnight. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. It's 6:37 to Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Got to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. Been around since 1897. That's a lot of Christmases, y'all. A lot of Christmas savings accounts, too. More importantly than that, that's a long time to be a member of a community. Not unlike old George Bailey, right? Landmark Bank has been around as a member of your community. Hey, well, to know if they're in your community, look them up at landmarkbankla.com. Hit the little drop-down tab over by About Us and get their locations there. But the reason it's important they're a part of the community, is everything that's in it. It's a Wonderful Life, right? They're there for you. They're there as a part of the community. They are there, not removed in some giant building in Midtown Manhattan or God knows where around the world. Part of your community, part of your Main Street, part of your carpool line at school, or seeing them at the gym, or in line at the grocery store. And what that means is they're here to help you achieve your goals in life. Saving, retiring, investing, borrowing. They're here for you. LandmarkBankLA.com. So, I've been wanting to revisit this. I had Buck Vandersteen on the show on, I believe it was Wednesday. And we were talking about a new deal between Microsoft and C2X, and it's called the Beaver Lake Project. And essentially, Microsoft is leaning on this company C2X to there's a part of the deal is about making green methane, which is fine, but another part of the deal is about carbon sequestration. And I went and got hold of Buck because he's quoted in the article, and he heads up the Louisiana Forestry Association. So I figured he'd have a decent perspective. I mean, if anybody's going to have an informed take on carbon sequestration, it's someone from the Forestry Association, because, you know, trees sequester carbon pretty well. Or at least they sequester carbon. I mean, they suck it right on in. So let's talk with Buck Vandersteen about this deal overall. And my perspective sort of started to move a little bit. Not my take on carbon sequestration, but my perspective on how we're approaching it is starting to change a little bit. I want to play this first clip back for you. It's a little bit longer. It's close to 2 minutes long, but I was asking him about the deal itself and the importance of seeing, you know, what players are in the game and where the game's headed. Cut one.
Forest industry really needs to grow in Louisiana. We have an abundance of forest resources, and it has attracted private investors to come look at Louisiana, to set up shop, employ people in rural areas, invest in rural communities, employ people, and this would be a tremendous help to the forest products industry. Beaver Lake is an example where a mill closed 20 years ago, left an abundance of wood that had no markets, people that needed employment. The folks from Beaver Lake Renewable came in and said, we'd like to set up a shop that would create a fuel, a methanol fuel for the shipping industry. Many of these investors say this is a great place to do work, to do business, but, you know, we like to be environmentally friendly and reduce our carbon footprint. And this is where the carbon capture and storage comes into play with the forest industry. And this carbon capture and storage has created numerous opportunities, and the latest opportunity that you just see is with Microsoft. This big meta plant up in Northeast Louisiana wants to be carbon neutral by the end of 2029, 2030.
Right.
And looking at these opportunities where we hope to have carbon capture and storage part of the forest industry, just adding to that value. And this is going to be pumping billions, not millions, but billions of dollars into our communities.
Right at the beginning of that, he talked about a paper mill that closed 20 years ago. And you've had the trees growing in their backyard since then and no outlet for it. You've had people that have been, well, I'm hoping they've found gainful employment somewhere else over the last 20 years, but without the paper mill that was the center of attention, center of employment for that particular community. After 20 years, they see a light at the end of the tunnel for economic regrowth. They see a light at the end of the tunnel to bring their community back to life. One of the things about this interview that really changed my perspective, not my take, but my perspective, is that we're starting to talk about the people and less about the politics. When you talk about the politics, you run the risk of going down the rabbit hole. You run the risk of going down where before you can check and see if it's okay, you have to check and see if your party's on board. But I guarantee you, if there's people in that town who, you know, had a gainful employment at a paper mill 20 years ago and then had to go, you know, maybe work a checkout aisle at Walmart over the last 20 years or whatever the case might be. it wasn't their intended purpose and it wasn't what they were meant to do, and they all had to regroup and revamp and remap their lives out. You bring something like this into town where they can start making wood pellets to fuel ships, which, by the way, he mentioned Microsoft and he mentioned Drax and he mentioned C2X in there. Later on in the interview, he mentions what ships are going to be run off these wood pellets. You heard the name Maersk before? Maersk? Maersk? You've seen those ships everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere around the world. This is a big-time project with a global footprint. But the caveat is, folks at Microsoft want to be, he said carbon neutral. I believe the article itself said carbon negative by 2030. Now, if you let yourself get caught up in the part where you're carbon neutral or carbon negative, if you let yourself get caught up in the part of what's this going to do for the environment, you're caring more about the environmental effects than you are the people effects. Because the people that are going to be gainfully employed, the people who are going to be able to revamp, rework, and reopen what used to be a paper mill 20 years ago, and our forestry industry will start to come back to life again. The carbon sequestration is just a natural trade-off of that. Vandersteen continued, cut 2.
If we can do this right, if we can get the public to understand and to learn the process and get over the emotion of carbon and carbon capturing and start looking at how we can do this safely and how we can make sure that our first responders and everybody understand the risks, because there are always risks. There's no 100% guarantee on anything. But I do believe that we can find solutions to making this work and having Louisiana lead our southern region in this carbon capture and storage.
Get past the emotion. That's a big part of it. The risks, though, that part of it, I've been diving in deeper on. And every corner that I turn, every person that I talk to in the scientific community, anybody who does this for a living or teaches this for a living, has come back around to basically telling me the same thing. The slurry that they make, that super liquid that they make, that they pump it underground, you're talking about a greater than 99% chance that it stays underground. It's not going to bubble itself back up. Also, the depth. If you're talking about a lake that's 10 foot deep, 15 foot deep, 20 foot deep, they're pumping the stuff a mile into the ground. And then from there, you've got pressure added on to the liquefied portion of this that is even going to do a greater job of holding it down. If there are any problems with it, if there are any risks with it, they're still on the surface level before it gets down there, as I understand it. Now, again, I'm doing my level best to learn as much as I can as I go, but I am by no means an expert. But at the same time, though, you heard him say you got to lose the emotion of it. And that's what I'm trying my best to do, is to lose the emotion of it, to look at it from a factual basis, not a fear-based basis. And when I set the emotion aside and I defer to people who know more than I do, this is where I come around to, is that I've been in favor of this for some time, and my stance, the deeper I dig, the firmer I get into it. One more cut from Bucket, but let me tee this one up here. The what is big important here. The who on our end to be employed is a big part of this, but the who on the investor's end is also important. Cut 3.
Well, they're certainly the big players,
right.
And as we all know, with AI and you look at the stock market, and you look at the billions of dollars that are transferred every day for these projects, it is almost mind numbing to see that. You know, we're simple people. We will like to look at what our trees growing, our trees harvesting, and the resources in our community that grow, and we're delighted that these are private dollars. These are monies that investors see an opportunity, and if I believe that we can make this work for everybody.
I'm not trying to dust under the rug that, yes, they are private dollars. They are private investors. They are major global players, there's tax credits to go along with this. Not going to dust that under the rug at all, but it's part of the overall equation. My thing is, and I greatly appreciate Mr. Vandersteen's time from the other day, but my big thing is I look at a community that lost their main source of income 20 years ago, their main rallying point. They were a factory town. They have a chance to get that back again. And I would hate to see my politics stand in the way of it. Anyhow, we're coming up on 650 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our break to check your money now, got to remind you about Vex European. VexEuropean.com is the website. Oh, man. I was by, going on 3 weeks ago. The first time we had a cold snap. And cranked up the car. Y'all know by now I drive an 18-year-old car, right? Cranked up the car, had a squeaky belt. Took it by Vex, got to go sit down in the waiting area, had myself a cup of coffee, actually had myself a bottle of water as well, and a granola bar, watched a little TV, banged out a couple of emails, booked a couple of interviews for the show. Unbelievably consumer friendly. Was able to get work done and relax a little bit while I'm waiting on my car to get serviced. And I got to tell you, as soon as I started flipping through the channels on the TV, they were right back because they were all done. I was taken care of. Car's humming like a dream, as it always is. And it's thanks to Vinny and his team at Vex European. Want to learn more? Start at VexEuropean.com. See if they've got your make of vehicle so you can take advantage of the Vexpertise at Vex European. Commercials. And if she wasn't in when I said it earlier, good morning, Christy. Yeah, right? Yeah, Troy, definitely not a rookie producer. The most seasoned producer in here. Yeah, it was a rookie move. He wasn't here yet. Is there another radio show that talks about other radio shows? Like everybody's always scared of that. Do what? What is it? No, they talk about shows on other channels? No, I'll talk about our guys all the time. That's cross promotion. But like, I don't know. I don't know why everybody's always scared to talk about the competition. I don't mind. Who? Delilah? Delilah doesn't win shit. The morning show. Yes. Can we just give them green jackets and let them retire? We have 4, 5, and 6 here. I asked Moon last night at the party. I said, Moon, next time you have John Fleming in to lead off the show and you're in studio, can you let me know so I don't call him an empty suit right before seeing him face to face? Yeah. And Moon's like, do you think he's an empty suit? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, then don't worry about it. I'm like, God, I love you, Moon. Oh, man. He's got CB forgot. No, he's got He's got. Pension snatch. Oh, Beaver Lake sounds like it's right in the middle of Epstein Island. It's right next to Nipple Mountain. .655 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. You heard in our news at the bottom of the hour, Christmas week is next week. You heard in our traffic right there. Christmas week is next week. Our news partners over at the Louisiana Radio Network caught up with AAA's Don Redman. Looking like another record breaker of a year, more than 122 million Americans heading out of town for the holidays. Obviously, loading up the family truckster and hitting the road, most popular mode of travel. What do they consider out of town, though? Like, we're going to be going an hour away.
337.
The 337 is you cross over to. We're going to the 504 and the 985.
That's out of town.
That's out of town.
I would say anything outside of the
area code.
And I would extend past. Yeah, like I would say parish, but like Ascension Parish is not out of town.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though. Is like, I don't. There are places in the country where an hour's drive is not considered like ridiculous.
It's where you go from saying Bergeron to Bergeron. You're out of town.
Okay. Crap. That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, other way around. We go from we're going from saying Bergeron to Bergeron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
So
you're going to Target.
No.
Okay.
All right. But taking a look at the roads, Don Redman with AAA says the closer we get to Christmas Day, obviously the busier it's going to get.
The week coming up before Christmas, those are going to be very busy, especially when you get into that Tuesday or Wednesday prior to Christmas. That's when you see the highest number.
Redman says it seems like for Thanksgiving, it's everybody all at once, right? On the way there, on the way back. That's not the case for Christmas.
It's kind of spread out, and so you don't have these huge periods of one day, everyone heading out.
Well, no, because you have families to work, to coordinate through, right? Okay, I want your comments on our Facebook Live feed. Do you space out Christmas over a number of different days? Like, for example, we're going to go to the in-laws on Christmas Eve, and then we're going to go to our family on Christmas Day, and then we're going to go see our cousin Lorraine the following Saturday, but we're going to go see our other cousin Steve the Saturday before. Like, do you space out to have multiple Christmases over multiple days? I feel like most of us do, right? That feels like a no-brainer. We all make multiple stops. Let me know over on Facebook Live. Redmond says if you want to avoid heavy traffic on your way home, your best bet is to watch the ball drop at Times Square at your vacation destination.
As far as the return, it's going to be that weekend prior to the new year. But again, not all travelers will be coming at the same time.
Yeah, no kidding. But look, we're not traveling very far, so I don't think we're, if you're within an hour's radius, hour and a half radius, it's not that bad. You just got to pick the right time of day. We got news coming your way in just a minute. While talking about the holidays can be a trigger for anxiety and depression. If you're one who has battled with anxiety and depression and have been thus far treatment resistant, what does treatment resistant mean? You don't like the way the antidepressants make you feel. You don't like the way the prescription drugs make you feel, or they've just lost their effect. There's diminishing returns when you're putting new chemicals in your body. If the sit down, talk it out therapy just isn't grabbing hold, give TMS therapy a look. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is what TMS stands for. They put a little helmet on your head. It sends magnetic pulses that target the areas of the brain that affect mood. If you constantly feel like you're in a fight or flight battle, this calms those seas, those 6-foot crashing waves. Learn more at neurojust.com. They're located on Blue Bonnet Boulevard, but I would start online with their website, NEUROJUST, neurojust.com. We got top of the hour news, traffic, top stories and trending. Liz Murrill's coming up in our next hour. This is why, why aren't people using their coworkers' computers to search stuff? Yes. If I wanted to ask Google, if I wanted to find out how long it takes a body to decompose, I'm doing it from the 104.5 studio when nobody's in there. Like, I'm not doing that from my laptop. Just saying. No, but I perfectly understand. Like, it makes no sense. Like, at home, I guess I'll just do a little quick search here. I'm curious to know how long it takes a body to decompose. Well, you can't, because now it's part of your record. No, it's not. Sorry, y'all. Kay's over here laughing because ABC has a reporter named Selena Wang. which the 60s in December, you can wear short sleeves because your body's adapted. The 60s in like October, you need a jacket because you're coming down from the 90s. 6'7". How can I share this? .705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now, and a busy hour it will be. Brian here with you, Cade Wazan producing. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour, dipping down to 40 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. Is it time for your IT to hit a 180? Visit 180pros.com. Busy hour this hour, like I said, more than 60 potential sexual predators or alleged sexual predators lifted off the streets yesterday. Our Attorney General, Liz Murill, had a big press conference about it. She will unpack that and a number of other headlines coming up in our next segment. Also this hour, Leah Long from the National Federation of Independent Business. What's the vibe of small business right now heading into the, in the holiday season, heading into 2026? What are we looking at? That's all coming up later this hour. Right now, though, we start off with top stories and trending. Starting us off here with our news partners over at WBRZ for this one. A judge sentences a man to more than a decade in prison after he was convicted of carjacking and attacking a man. 33-year-old Alkavian Ennis impersonated an officer, pulled a man over off Perkins Road back in July of 2022, court records say. Ennis then pistol whipped the man, detained him using zip ties before stealing his car. The RPD eventually tracked Ennis down, where led on a pursuit that ended in Ennis crashing into an 88-year-old woman's home. I remember the story like it was yesterday, y'all. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison yesterday, according to WBRZ. Well, actually, according to WBRZ and the Advocate. Dr. Orlando McMeans has been appointed to be the interim Southern University president. McMeans is the current chancellor of the Southern University Agricultural Research and Extension Center and the dean of the College of Agricultural, Human, and Environmental Sciences. He's stepping into the president's role that will be left vacant by Dennis Shields, whose departure was announced in late November. A man armed with a knife was detained outside of Mayor President Sid Edwards' office yesterday morning. Mayor's office said the man with a knife on his belt went into the bathroom on the third floor around 11 a.m. Edwards' security took the knife, detained the man, who was reportedly suffering from mental illness and was intoxicated. He was questioned and then released to his family once it was determined he was not a threat. A Baton Rouge man was indicted for allegedly assaulting Border Patrol agents with a vehicle. 42-year-old Evodio Marita Tavera, hope I'm pronouncing that right, was booked in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on December 11th for aggravated criminal damage to property and resisting an officer with force and violence. He was indicted for assaulting a federal officer while that officer was engaged in the performance of their official duties. Our big topic next segment, Attorney General Liz Murill says more than 60 people suspected of sex crimes against children were arrested in North Louisiana. This is the result of what Murill calls Operation Access Denied, a collaboration between dozens of sheriff's offices and police departments. Murill says the men were engaged in numerous illegal activities targeting children online. What you got, CV?
A man who is suspected of killing two and wounding several others at Brown University has been found dead in a New Hampshire storage facility. An anonymous law enforcement official told the AP.
So crazy.
Mm-hmm. Also linked to the MIT professor, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe they linked him to the MIT professor through the rental car that he trashed and dumped. Why he's hanging out in a storage unit, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
crazy weekend last weekend when you consider the major stories, right? The terrible tragedy in Australia, this at Brown,
right?
The Rob Reiner story.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
It has been a very rough
Hope
week.
for a better one ahead. Today is the deadline for the Department of Justice to release its files related to the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein after Congress passed a bill compelling it to do so. And I kind of feel the same way as you do. I guess we'll see.
I mean,
at this
point, to quote the great 80s movie, "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead." I'm all over that, Rose.
Ooh.
That's a deep cut right
That
there.
is, yeah.
That is a deep, like maybe 3 people in the entire audience got that.
Who was in that movie?
Put
you on the spot. It's not Mike Myers.
Applegate.
Huh? Oh, Christina Applegate?
Yes. Wasn't she?
Was that during the Married with Children or before?
It was during or towards the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the older sister.
Right.
Babysitter died. They don't want the parents to come home, so she goes out and gets a job. Very, very 80s. Yeah, I mean, walks into like a fashion firm, a fashion design firm, and just like lands a gig.
That's
different
from like wasn't there an 80s movie where there was a superhero babysitting somebody?
That's Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue.
Okay.
And the little girl thought she was Thor.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. TikTok has signed a deal to sell its U.S. business to 3 American investors, Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX, ensuring the popular social video platform that it can still spy on people operating in the United States.
Oh, worst news ever, man. Worst news. I'm glad they have an American outlet now. I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get rid of my TikTok, even though I had to start my TikTok over. But does it have to be Larry Ellison?
The talk has to go back to the beginning. It goes back to Tick.
It does go back to Tick.
Okay.
I'm mid Tick right now.
Good.
But does it have to go to Larry Ellison? I mean, the guy just dumped a whole bunch of money on Bryce Underwood to leave us last year.
The Tick was a good show too, by the way.
The Tick?
Yeah.
No, it was not.
No,
it was terrible.
I like Patrick Warburton.
Duckman,
whatever.
Duckman
okay,
was good.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't want that guy to get any more, but
I know it's good that there's an American outlet, but now you got an 81-year-old who owns TikTok. Think about that for a minute.
Well, I'm sure he's very, very in tune with what those who consume TikTok want.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Melba toast.
We're at 712 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Got to remind you really quickly about Louisiana Public Charter Schools. We've been talking about them for the last week or so. Not yesterday, but last Thursday, I got the opportunity to go to the Louisiana Association of Public Charter Schools annual conference. Y'all, the work that's being done in our charter schools right now is just phenomenal. Because the work that's being done in our charter schools is showing ripple effects throughout all our schools. The biggest thing to remember about charter schools is they are public charter schools. And with the Louisiana Association of Public Charter Schools, what they're about choice for parents and autonomy for educators. Last Thursday, I heard the word autonomy no fewer than 100 times in 3 hours. And that is not hyperbole. That is not exaggeration. I heard the word autonomy almost right at 100 times over the course of 3 hours. When you allow educators to educate, you see results. When you put parents in power of choice, when you put parents in control of the destiny of their kids, you see results. There's buy-in on both ends, and it's showing. The Louisiana Association of Public Charter Schools doing great work. All right, we got Attorney General Liz Murill coming up in our next segment, so let's take a quick break. Coming back next. Okay, what would get me 3 texts all in a row? Right on top of that, Rose. I love how this shit works. No, we're calling her. 7:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Head to the hotline right now because big headlines were made yesterday. Attorney General Liz Murill announces the arrest of 67 registered sex offenders in North Louisiana and one of the largest child predator busts in state history. She joins us right now. Attorney General Murill, welcome back. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you, Brian? Good morning.
I'm doing very well as well. Big news yesterday. Walk me through the play-by-play.
So, yeah, we worked with over 30 law enforcement partners through our ICAC partnership. And, you know, I'm really, really proud to say that since I started, when I was inaugurated, we started with 8 kind of formalized partnerships in the ICAC unit. That's the Internet Crimes Against Children unit. And now we have 70. So, you know, formalizing those arrangements allows us to do things like this where we all work very closely together to target some kind of enforcement. And this one targeted registered sex offenders with crimes against juveniles. And they're prohibited from using social media. And so we went after those who were using social media. And, you know, it was a very successful operation. I think, you know, what's disturbing about it is how many of them are using social media and the various platforms they're using.
Are we allowed to talk about, or is it still part of the investigation to talk about in what way they're using social media to get the kids?
Well, you know, they're using it in different ways. Some of them were on social media in their own names. So they had set up accounts in their own names, which is, you know, very disturbing since the platforms, I think, could automate the process of cross-checking names against the sex predator registry and at least flag them for follow-up to determine whether somebody should be on their platform or not. But some of them also had fake account, you know, they were using fake names or aliases, and they were using different platforms. Every person who has multiple counts is charged with a count related to using a different platform. So, you know, it's not you used Facebook 25 times. If you used Facebook, chat, Snapchat, Instagram, Discord, you know, they're using a number of different platforms. And those are all platforms where we've seen and found sex predators.
Have the social media, excuse me, have the social media outlets been a part of this? Have they been helpful? I mean, are they able to assist in any way?
You know, they are able. I would say that I'm frustrated by their level of, you know, aggressiveness on this issue. I had to sue Roblox. Roblox represents to parents that it's safe for kids, and it is the most prevalent hunting ground, I think, for sex predators that there is. TikTok has problems as well. Some of these people are on TikTok. You know, they've used Facebook and Snapchat and other means of talking to somebody in an encrypted way. Once they find them, they can move them. You know, they'll move them off a platform to another way to talk. I think there's much more that they could do. You know, they sued over our law requiring age verification and got an injunction based on the First Amendment. And, you know, I have said to them directly, like when I meet with some of their representatives, this is an all hands on deck problem, and you can't look to other people to pawn off responsibility. Everybody needs to be responsible, including parents.
So as a parent of teenagers, as a parent of teenagers on social media, I'm right there with you. And we go out of our way to walk our kids through. You use social media to talk to people you already know in real life. You don't use social media to meet new people.
Right. And, you know, I think that I have to continually say parents, of course, need to continue to be vigilant about their kids' social media use, because you know, just take a look at that board of faces.
Oh, I know.
And realize that those are the people that may be talking to your children on social media. I mean, it is, you have to go and check and make sure that they haven't disabled any of the controls. You need to have parental controls, and you need to make sure that they aren't disabled, because manipulative people who can gain access to talk to your child or communicate to your child will tell them how to, or they can just go online and figure it out. You know, I mean, they're crafty little people.
They are, and they're going to be, you know, hip to adapting quicker than we are as well.
They're very adaptable, and they're very crafty, and that's not to I think that's just
No,
realistic
it's
about
a compliment,
your
though. That's actually a compliment. I mean, they are
Mhm.
clever. They're not, and it. I know it doesn't sound like a compliment, but it actually is. That our kids are quick; they can pick things up on the fly.
That's right. Yeah.
I will never forget. Our Attorney General Liz Murrill's our guest. I'll never forget when Brandon Freeman was the U.S. attorney here. I had him on about a similar case a number of years ago, and I asked him what was the most dangerous social media outlet out there, and his answer is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. He said, "Whichever one your kid's on."
That's right. I think that's right. And if it has the capacity to talk to strangers, and whether you've allowed it or not, if it has the capacity for your child to talk to strangers, then it is dangerous. And it would be nice if we had no children on social media at all until at least they were 16. Unfortunately, that's just not that's not the world we live in. And so certainly every child that is on the internet is exposed. And we're doing everything we can. And I know our legislators are aggressively seeking legislation that would create more accountability, and we just get a lot of pushback and lawsuits.
I got to ask about the coordination between all these different outlets over here. From a prosecutorial standpoint, does it make it more difficult to cross the finish line to make sure you're getting prosecutions you got to have a lot of people rowing in the same direction to make sure these cases are airtight?
Well, so we work. That's part of what the ICAC unit does. We, at the investigation and arrest side of things, that's the first stage. Right. We coordinate closely with our law enforcement partners. We provide training. We send tips to them to work on their own that we get through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We triage those tips, and then we send them to our partners. We also provide additional training for them so that we can all work these cases together. We try to figure out which ones are the greater threat. I mean, they're all bad. If you're trading child sexual abuse material, that's a felony and that's bad. But if you are actively abusing a child, that is levels higher and of more immediate concern. At least one of the people we arrested yesterday is being charged with first-degree rape and is alleged to have been actively abusing a young teenager. So, these are not just, I always say it's not a victimless crime to be possessing or trading child pornography, but these operations also lead to arrest of people who are soliciting minors actively on these platforms and in some cases abusing children actively.
How long does it take to get to the finish line to prosecute all these people? That's a lot of folks.
It just goes through, they're spread out. I mean, if you look at the different jurisdictions where they came from, it's concentrated, I think, in any one jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We had 30 different law enforcement partners in this. And if you look at the map, it basically runs from central Louisiana all the way through all of North Louisiana. So I think that while there are 67 people, they are spread out among every parish in North Louisiana, basically. And we're there to help. So my people, my prosecutors will back them up and help if they need any help. We aren't going to let that deter us from enforcement. You need follow through, to your point. I mean, it doesn't have the effect that we need it to have if we arrest somebody and then there's no consequences on the back end.
Right. We're talking with Attorney General Liz Murill about the big announcement yesterday. 67 registered sex offenders in North Louisiana rounded up in this huge bust, one of the largest in state history. Attorney General Murill, how concerning is it to learn that they were all already sex offenders?
It's very concerning, and that's one of the reasons we're going to replicate this in other parts of the state. And as we do that, I will continue to look at the broader data. One thing that an operation like this affords me is the ability to really sort of look at what platforms are they using. Right now, I've got a group of 67 people who were all arrested for using multiple platforms. They are already registered sex offenders with juvenile convictions. So I think that's really important because they are they are already convicted of crimes that did involve juveniles.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what platforms they're using. I want to pull all that data together and look at it more in an aggregate way. And then I want to see what happens when we also replicate it around the state. And I think that information becomes very helpful then when we are meeting with the social media companies and asking them to do more so that they can help us protect our kids.
Well, and I don't know if this is your bailiwick or not, but I want to throw it out there anyway, when you see 67 who were already registered, does
Right.
it start to bring up questions about, is rehabilitation possible? Is recidivism guaranteed? That sort of thing.
Look, when it involves children, there's a lot of data on this. I think it's a very difficult subject, but there is certainly a difference between adult, sex predators and there's a lot of different sex crimes. There's a difference with pedophiles, and pedophiles, sometimes, especially with these very young, when it involves very young children, there's a lot of research that questions the ability to rehabilitate somebody like that. But, that's why we have them register. We track, we restrict their activities. They have to register, and they can't go near parks. They can't go near daycare. They can't go near a school. Unfortunately, the internet is free access for them. They are not supposed to be on it, to be clear. They are legally not permitted to be on it. But because they are, hiding somewhere and doing it, we have to go chase them down and find out whether they are or not. I think it's going to require our probation and parole folks to really we may have to look at some different protocols with probation and parole too. And they were a part of our operations, so they've been great partners. I'm not criticizing them. They've been great partners, but I think that every time you look at this, you have to evaluate, is there something more we could be doing?
Right. And is there a broader question to be answered in that,
Right.
if rehabilitation is not possible, then we have to reevaluate everything when it comes to, I get emotional speaking as a parent, and speaking, I would be more subjective than objective. So we will move on. While I've got you for another couple minutes or so, can we pivot over to a different topic that's been kind of top of the headlines lately? And that is, what is your office's role in having ICE in South Louisiana?
So very little. We provide, if requested, we would provide some support for ICE in any way that they ask that's legally permissible. And since we have criminal law enforcement authority across the state, we can provide them with some backup if they need it to make sure that state laws are not violated when they are actively carrying out some kind of enforcement action. There are a number of law enforcement agencies around the state that have something called a 287G agreement with ICE. That is something that I'm looking at. I think that, my fugitive apprehension unit would probably be able to do more and support ICE more if we had one of those agreements. It's not complicated. It just requires some additional training and federal law enforcement and ICE enforcement, but just support and reminding our law enforcement partners around the state, including the New Orleans PD, who I did meet with a couple of days ago, that we have new state laws that prohibit obstructing ICE and require them to use their best efforts to assist ICE if they're asked.
Once arrested, does y'all's role change at all? And is any of the prosecutorial end on y'all?
No, that's all federal. So, ICE is responsible for enforcement of federal immigration laws. And so these are actions related to violations of federal law. And once someone is arrested, and remember, there's two different things. There's the deportation process, which is a separate process from arresting somebody and charging them with other criminal charges. So they may be charged with criminal violations, and then they may also be in a parallel fashion going through deportation proceedings, removal proceedings based on these violations.
Important.
And if they could, by the way, if they're convicted of state crimes, they should be removed.
Yeah.
Especially for crimes of violence and crimes of moral turpitude. They should be getting removed. And I sued over that during the Biden administration. We had 2 years of battling over whether we had standing to sue, and then a judge dismissed our case, which I disagreed with. But, you can see it costs us a lot of money, especially in criminal enforcement when additional crimes are committed by people who are illegally present here.
Well, yeah, and almost certainly there will be a crossing of the streams at some point. I mean, that's
right.
That's just the law of averages. In the meanwhile, important clarification. I greatly appreciate it. Great work on this one. Have yourself a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
She is Attorney General Liz Murill. We blew right past ABC News. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and catch our local news, traffic, weather. When we come back, Leah Long from NFIB is our guest. What the hell did I do with my... Oh, yeah. Okay. Diet Coke in the fridge. It's okay. Not for long. $180pros.com, 180pros.com. That's the home base online for 180 Pros. As we are approaching New Year's, it's time for your IT to do a 180. Are you getting the service that you require to keep your network up and running? Are you getting the protection you need when it comes to cybersecurity? This is what they do over at 180 Pros. And yeah, while they're on top of the tech and while they're on top of the cybersecurity, they're here is your IT partner, not IT provider. Means a whole different thing. It means that they base their success off of your success. Want to learn more? I tell you what, 180pros.com, 180pros.com is the website, but I'd call them, which is just completely different thing. Talking to a person here in Baton Rouge, 225-330-2200 for 180 Pros. All right, as we are approaching Christmas week and approaching the end of the year, it's time to get a little year in review from the small business perspective. Leah Long from NFIB is on the hotline right now. Leah, good morning. Welcome aboard.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Always appreciate having you on. Give us the overall encapsulation. What's 2025 look like from a small business perspective?
You know, the past several years have been really tough for small businesses. You know, we dealt with inflation, different things, but, you know, the highlight of this year really is just on the state level, we really did get some lawsuit abuse bills done to move the needle in the right direction. I know that we're starting to see some headway with that, and I know as we get toward 2026 session, there's more work to be done. So I'm very proud of that because small businesses, you know, it's tough to eat those insurance premiums. You know, it eats at their bottom dollar, and so they've got to kind of either pass that on to consumers or just eat the cost. And so that was a huge thing. And then on a federal level, the Big Beautiful Bill did contain the 20% small business tax deduction, which was made permanent. So it increased optimism for small business owners because they can count that, you know, toward their future. They can plan ahead. So those are really big things that happened this year for the small business owners.
How long does it take for things like legislation to affect the bottom line? I mean, we made some, like you said, some headway was made in the state legislature when it comes to lawsuit abuse. How long does it take for that to affect the bottom line for a small business?
You know, it just kind of depends. You know, we always say there's no silver bullets and make something happen, you know, overnight. And so I think as we keep chipping away at some of these different things to continue to make Louisiana more business friendly, it's going to continue to affect in a positive way these small business owners. For instance, you know, we lowered the personal income tax rate. That's huge for business owners, which I think that was, you know, the year before, but, you know, they're finally going to be able to see that this coming year. And so that's a very positive thing. So it just takes a little bit of time. You know, you can't predict when it's going to affect. You know, usually most laws go to effect, you know, mid-year, and then they, you know, continue to see how the process affects the business owners.
We're talking with Leah Long from NFIB, the National Federation for Independent Business. Getting the vibe on small business as we're heading into the holiday. We're heading into Christmas week throughout the holiday season. Leah, I want to ask you about the retail side over here. I know it's been a struggle for years. What are we looking at specifically with retail and small business in Louisiana?
Yeah, so I always love, we talked about this for Small Business Saturday, and tomorrow is Super Saturday, you know, your last shopping experience really weekend before Christmas. And so it has been a tough year for small business owners. So being able to shop small is super important. Go support those small businesses because they do give back to your community. And I think on average, 67 cents of every dollar spent in a small business actually stays in your community. And, you know, we always talk about Louisiana and having the best communities, and it adds the culture of the state. And so it wouldn't be the same without these small business owners in those different communities. And so retail has struggled. You know, they've got to compete with online. They've got to compete with big box retail stores. And so being able to support them this holiday season is super important.
Stepping away from retail, moving to some other sectors, what's thriving right now? Who's doing the best?
You know, it's industry specific. You know, we're building a lot of new things in Louisiana. And so, you know, construction, transportation is always very important around the holiday season. And so it's just, you know, thinking about toward 2026 and workforce. And we talk about this all the time. Workforce is an issue on qualified labor workforce here in Louisiana. And so all industries are kind of depends on what's going on, but we always have big projects coming to Louisiana, and we want to continue to do that, and we want to be able to have jobs open for these people and employees be able to fill those jobs.
We got just a couple minutes left with Leah Long from the NFIB, the National Federation for Independent Business, talking about where we're at right now towards the end of 25, heading into 2026. Can we break out the crystal ball, Leah, and take a look at 2026? What's the first quarter looking like? What's the year looking like?
I think it's going to be positive. We're going to continue to increase our optimism, hopefully, as we move into the next year. Like I said, that tax deduction on the federal level, lowering our personal income tax here in the state, and, gearing up toward 2026 session. There's a lot of big things that could happen. And so I hope that we're going to continue our optimism and, hopefully we'll finish quarter 4 strong, these small businesses, especially the retail environment, so they can roll that over to 2026.
You mentioned tax deduction on a federal level. I want to talk about something else on a federal level. Are we seeing any negative effects from the tariffs that are out there?
We haven't necessarily engaged or polled our members on that because it is super industry specific. But I mean, they have been affected by supply chain issues, no doubt. And, obviously the cost of things going up, they've got to either, eat that cost or pass it on to consumers. So super industry specific, but overall supply chain issues have been an issue.
One of the things that we like to talk about when it comes to small business is small business hiring, because I know that it is not the easiest thing to do, to want to grow, to want to scale, to want to take on more payroll, more benefits, and the like. But when you look at when you look at encouragement, enthusiasm, and positivity and whatnot heading into next year, are we talking about growth yet? Are we talking about folks wanting to take on more people, more payroll?
It's just kind of, again, industry specific. But the idea is, if we make Louisiana more business friendly, we allow, them to thrive, they're going to have more money. They're going to have more capital to reinvest in their business, whether that's, expanding, whether it's hiring new employees, continuing to invest within their business is super important. And I think we're going to see that in 2026.
I want to piggyback off that and talk about how we see trickle-down effects when it comes to big economic development announcements. Throughout 2025, we've had more than $70 billion announced. A lot going to be going on down in Ascension Parish along the river. We heard about the Meta Data Center up in northeast Louisiana. What kind of effort is put into making sure that big economic development announcements trickle down to small business as well?
The LED, Secretary Bourgeois has done fantastic. So has Governor Landry about including kind of small business. We love big business to come to Louisiana because sometimes, a lot of the people that contract those jobs, they bid those jobs, whether the fencing company that, is going to put the fence around Meta, whatever it may be, could be a small business owner. Some of these independent contractors may go to work. So it takes big business and small business to continue to make the economy thrive in Louisiana. And so it's great opportunities and execute. Obviously if a bigger business comes into a community, they're going to go shop and eat at these local independent restaurants. They're going to go to the retailers. So it all goes hand in hand. And so I think it's important that we continue to remember, yes, we want big business to come in, but we've also got to continue to make sure these small independent businesses thrive and that they are doing well because they are the ones that support the economy. They're the backbone of the economy. They support your community.
Is there a way to put numbers on it, or like when we hear the first announcement, that indirect job column is where it comes in?
Yeah, I think it's the indirect job column. It's hard to put a number on it. It just, again, industry, depending what it is. But, we talk about the Meta Data Center, in North Louisiana. There's a lot of smaller restaurants and smaller businesses that have benefited from that because there's more people in that area now, and they've got to be able to continue to be able to provide different things for that community now.
No, absolutely. You talk about restaurants, you can tell about realtors. I mean, for crying out loud, they're going to have a good year as well.
Yeah, home building, a lot of the independent home builders, construction, I mean, especially in that area, just in general. It's definitely great for that industry if new business comes in because they've got to be able to, build homes for these people.
Before I get you out of here, let's just kind of walk through, I don't want to call it your Christmas wish list, but as 2026 is approaching, what are the goals for NFIB? What are you looking to tackle next year?
We talk about workers' comp reform a lot. We've been saying that, I think, for years, Brian. And so I'm hopeful that this year we can move the needle somehow. There's got to be a fair, transparent system for the employers and for the employees. So I would love to see that move forward. I would love to continue to work on just, making it more business friendly. We've got to tackle health insurance premiums. They're outrageous. We got to continue to lower that. for just the consumer and for the employer. We want to offer a great benefit package, and the ones that can't offer health insurance do, but the insurance premiums are super high. Insurance in general is high, so continuing to knock that down a little bit is going to be super beneficial for small business owners.
How difficult is that for you, being like here in Louisiana with an FIB, when these things kick back to Washington, D.C. and the nation's capital?
Yeah, so definitely. It is kind of tough, and we do have to follow the things on the federal level, and, we relay that to our members, and we have to fight that on federal level. We have a great lobbying team in D.C. that protects, small business on that level. So it's kind of a balance of both, what's going on the state and what's going on in D.C.
She is Leah Long from the National Federation for Independent Business. Talk a little small business as we're in the midst of the holiday season. Leah, I appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. That's that one was borderline as to whether or not we were going to bail on it because there's just so much static there. But I appreciate the information Leah had for us throughout that. We're at 747 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Just to kind of recap, it's always a difficult balance if you're in FIB, because you're looking on a local level, but at the same time, though, you're depending upon things happening on a federal level, which is why we bring you DC Current twice a week, talking with our delegation that's in our nation's capital. It's why all these things dovetail together to be so they're all important on their own levels. But when we talk about healthcare, when we talk about plans being crafted in the Senate and the House, there are times when it trickles back down to us, and that's exactly what we were talking about right there. So I appreciate her time. She brought up one thing anecdotally within there that I wanted to revisit as well. When I asked about the big economic development announcements and how they trickle down, we always think about the restaurants, right? Yes, absolutely. That's what we do. But the fencing company that puts the fence around Meta, there you go. That's what I would have never thought of. But when you see those big economic development announcements and you hear it's going to lead to X number of construction jobs, X number of permanent jobs, and X number of indirect jobs, those indirect jobs, that's the small business they're talking about. Or that's the business they're talking about is small business when it comes to the indirect jobs that are wrapped into the announcements. All right, we got Your Money Now coming up a little bit over a minute from right now. Want to preview next hour. Alice Glenn from NOLA and Company, New Orleans and Company, I should say, is going to join us. Alice is an executive vice president over there. They've launched Vision 2035. What is Vision 2035? Well, it's their long-term roadmap in New Orleans and how they're going to get to where they are going. We're going to talk with Alice about that specifically at 8:15, 8:35. The folks from Ragin Cajun are going to be in the house for Foodie Friday. We're going to make us some rice dressing. So looking forward to that as well. Before we hit our break, I do want to remind you about Mathern's coming up on the 22nd. December 22nd at Mathern's. Santa Claus is coming. Santa will be there. The Mathern's on Highland at Kenilworth. The Mathern's at Kenilworth, Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth. 5 to 6 p.m. on the 22nd. Santa's coming out. Bring the kids. Probably your last opportunity to take the picture with Santa. But there's going to be so much going on along with that. They'll have hot cocoa. They'll have cookies. You can make reindeer food. They'll have coloring sheets for the kids. And, of course, the great Coca-Cola holiday truck will be up there as well, and the big man himself, Santa Claus. Coming to the Mathern's at Kenilworth on December 22nd, 5 to 6 p.m. All right. We've got Your Money Now coming your way right now. On the back end of that, we will check traffic, and then we'll continue next on Talk 107.3. Oh, my God. Was her phone out the window? Was her phone out the window? Good God. No, I know. I appreciate you toggling like that. It just. Well, so that's because when she's not talking, the microphone on her phone is sucking the sound in. They sponsor the studio sponsor. So that just sits there. Yeah. On air. They're coming to you from the from the 180 Pro studio. Yeah.
That way we just make sure we know when we get a word about it. You said, okay, feedback or people send to you immediately hear us. Yes, sir.
Hey, Liz is featured for today. Yeah, that's it. That's it right up. Mashed potatoes and anything yet. Gumbo was good. Well, the short ribs were the best, though.
I mean, I'll go a couple times tomorrow. Time more. Okay, they hear us. We are.
All right. Well, then we're set. Likewise, man. It's great to finally meet her. Yeah. Awesome. Very awesome. Isn't that great though? You get to take a break. Brought my my middle child. I forget where I was going, but I brought Abby with me, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're the basketball player." Like, you know what? Shine. You just shine. You go ahead. Yeah. Oh, better than having people bitch at me about my takes on things. You know, tell me why I'm wrong. No, it's part of the business. I told Moon about that last night. I told you last night about it. Next time you have John Fleming in studio, let me know. It was literally the segment before. I was talking about a poll or something, and I'm like, and then they running second behind Cassidy is that empty suit John Fleming. And what he said in his treasurer campaign, I'm running for treasurer so that I can run for Senate. As a voter, yeah. But like, if you tell me you're running for treasurer so you can run for Senate, you don't deserve my vote for treasurer. Because as a Louisianan, I want a treasurer. I don't want a professional campaigner. Probably, but Julie Emerson, yeah, I hope so. I was talking to Blake last Thursday. Get ready for. He's got a narrative that he's about to put out there that I think is going to win him a lot of popularity. We are punching out of our weight class on the House side. Now's the time to have replacements on the Senate side. Because if you're the biggest reason for the people down the middle to vote for Cassidy is you don't want to lose seniority. I
just think it'll be hard to get out of the vote. It's a good news.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the Supreme Court don't make a decision on this redistricting, I think all that's I really do. I think that's where we headed at.
I don't know how we make that. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Oh, what have you done, Cade? What is this?
Sammy Kershaw.
Sammy Kershaw? All right, keeping it local. That's good.
Yeah. Sammy Kershaw has one of the most creative lyrics I'll ever remember in a song growing up.
Okay.
So I believe the song is the song. I'll remember the title of the song in just a bit, but in the song, he describes someone as being the Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench.
Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench.
That's a beautiful line. I'm sorry. I believe that was Queen of My Double Wide.
Okay.
Which I don't know why. Like, I just imagine this guy being just a master craftsman, the Charlie Daniels of the torque wrench.
And he's run for lieutenant governor a couple times.
That's true. I forgot about that.
And if I'm not mistaken, in my spice cabinet at home, we got some Sammy Kershaw spice.
Really?
Yeah. He was flinging that all over the place when he was lieutenant governor. So. We're at 7:56 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. It is Christmas time. Christmas is next week. The National Retail Federation, as you heard in our news at the bottom of the hour, expecting almost 160 million shoppers to hit the stores on the last Saturday before Christmas. They call it Super Saturday. LSU marketing professor Dan Rice spoke with our news partners over at Louisiana Radio Network. He says, even though there are more shoppers than ever, the most money is being spent by one group more than all the others. Cut 7.
The initial numbers, at least, are showing kind of a diversion in who's spending the money. We're getting more shoppers, but the people who are in the higher income brackets are tending to spend more.
Of those shoppers, NRF is expecting more than 41 million to do so online. Rice says doing your Super Saturday shopping online is becoming easier each year.
Convenience, I think, is everything. And then, of course, you have the omni-channel type interactions where you may browse it online, order it for pickup at the store, and all you have to do is drive up and enter the space number you're in and have it delivered to your car.
Yeah, at this point, that's the only way to go. You better not have something shipped to your house from as of right now. I mean, we're past that threshold, right?
Porch Pirates.
Well, so the Porch Pirates, another whole chapter of this book, but I'm talking about just a strict deadline.
Yeah, you're not going to get it. Well, you know what? We're talking about Christmas being so far ahead on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So you got a little wiggle room, but not much.
I wouldn't guarantee it at this point.
No, at this point,
Anything
I'm going in store.
Under a week, I'm going in store. Over a week.
Case in point, we had something ordered. So at school, there was a fun pajama kind of day yesterday.
Yep.
And we ordered something that we wound up having to get a backup option because it came in yesterday as child was in school. So yeah, you can't really rely on things under a week.
One more from Dan Rice. The NRF has predicted that shoppers in the U.S. will spend more than $1 trillion for the first time. Rice believes those numbers are deceiving, though.
A lot of that top line revenue is actually being driven largely by increases in prices through things like tariffs and inflation. We're actually seeing a large amount of that just being driven by those price increases.
That doesn't matter. It's still spending more than $1 trillion flipping dollars. You kidding me? So we didn't go ballistic this year. I don't think. I need to go back and check. The missus handles all the kids stuff, and my job is to make sure that Santa's protected on the porch and everywhere else. But I'm pretty sure we kept it all in line. All right, 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Take a quick break for news. We'll check traffic. On the back end, we'll have This Day in History. Hour 3 is next. I hate to start the Red Bulls already, but I'm going to have to start the Red Bulls already. This is going to be a 3 Red Bull day. Oh, yeah, the bums don't come there. No, I stop there regularly, and you earn 13% back on all the money you spend inside the store on Upside. 6%, 6 cents per gallon at the pump, but yeah, self-checkout. But yeah, ever since they cleaned that place up, I haven't seen the bums. I'm gonna go downstairs to the fridge.
All they got to do is talk to me in my ear when I get on. They can hear stuff on the. No, he said that. He said they can hear us. So we all do it. Just black coffee and one even with what I'm taking off, I'm gonna have a month worth of time left on the books because I suck at life. I know, but you know how it is. Here's the thing, though. I used to up to about last year. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know as well as I do, it's harder to take a day off than it is just to work the day. Added a week. And what I did was, like, during the week, you know, I'm off there, that's how I started taking one day. Yeah, and the way I've built my show is all those Fridays I had we do some sponsored content segments, so I need to be in to talk to like Lake Urgent Care because they pay for that segment. Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned Puka Nakua? Yeah. The guy I beat last week has Puka Nakua. So it's like, I want to thank Puka Nakua for stepping up after I'm eliminated from the playoffs. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you, Cade Wazan producing. Starting off the 8 o'clock hour at 48 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. Learn more at 180pros.com. Laughing on the way back in because I was checking some text messages during the break. Cade, you play fantasy football, right?
I do, yes. Just one team, though.
Yeah. The guy I beat last week, he's got Puka Nakua on his team.
He had a good week.
He had a good week this week.
Consolation?
He had a good week this week.
Yeah.
So poor.
I don't know. I forget what he had last week. He's been one of my more productive wide receivers on the team, but last week compared to this week is not much of a comparison.
Man,
he had 45 points for me last night.
I had Sam Laporta at tight end, and he went on injured reserve, so I went and picked up Kyle Pitts from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And last Thursday, Kyle Pitts put up 45 points. So to my guy Jay Rober's show over at Coastal Louisiana Insurance, my brother, sorry, man. It just didn't work out this year.
Ooh. It's that feeling of like either when you needed him, he didn't, or you made that decision to put him on the bench and then he outperformed the guy you substituted him for. And
Meanwhile, over the Dave Ramsey League, I'm getting slaughtered.
I guess
it's retribution.
Yeah.
Because I talked so much trash to this a bunch of the Ramsey.
Who's leading? Deloney?
Do what?
Deloney's leading?
No, the PD out of Grand Rapids.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my own fault. I dug my own grave. I talked too much trash, and then the fantasy football gods come back to get you.
If Rachel Cruz is beating you, I gotta know.
Who do I have this week? In the consolation of the consolation bracket.
George Camel?
No, he's not in it.
By the way, if you caught any of yesterday's Ramsey show, the Giving Show, that's always a really good show.
Isn't it the best? Well, because it's the ultimate goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, you want your financial independence for your peace of mind and whatnot, but we're sent here to serve others.
A lady who gave a kidney to somebody. I mean,
who calls after that?
I don't know. That's pretty much ball game.
Thanks, jerk.
5th inning run rule on the Ramsey show.
I just can't. How does Dave handle that?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to shut it down now.
Oh, that's cute. You paid off someone's mortgage. I gave a kidney.
Kidney.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, we actually have business to attend to, y'all. Time to get this thing back on the rails. It's that time of year. Like we're shutting it down for sure. There's nobody else in the building except 104.5 is up there doing their thing. But our company Christmas party was last night, so bear with us as we're regrouping. We've got this hour. What do we got? We got Foodie Friday coming up. Ragin Cajun is going to be in the house making some rice dressing. We've got Alice Glenn from New Orleans and Company coming up on our next segment. We're going to talk about Vision 2035. What does it look like down in the Big Easy? We're going to be covering all that. But before we get to any of it, Cade's got this day in history.
All right, this day, December 19th, 1776, Thomas Paine publishes The American Crisis.
No way.
Famous line from that, these are the times that try men's souls.
Thomas Paine.
Yep.
All right, if you were Thomas Paine, what would you name your son?
Major?
Yep. Got to.
Yeah.
Got to.
1777, George Washington arrives at Valley Forge. Isn't that where they sell tires on that Netflix show?
I think it is. The Shane Gillis show?
Because there's a reference. There's a day where they dressed up like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, you're exactly right.
There we go. I guess he got there and got him a good deal. 1843, Charles Dickens publishes A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. First time ever that one came out was 1843.
Now,
Which, by the way,
when did the ebook come out?
The ebook?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like maybe 3 years later.
Okay, fair enough.
It took a minute.
Yeah.
The
Gutenberg
picture
didn't think of that, did he?
Do what?
Gutenberg didn't think of that, did he?
He's not. The Gutenberg e-Bible.
Nope. You had something on that?
No, the picture from the first ever Christmas Carol. It's disturbing.
Yeah, it's kind of a dark.
There's this guy. It's like one of the ghosts is like wearing a green robe.
It's not like warm and Christmassy. No, it's
but like he's wearing a green robe, but it's all open in the front, like he's coming from a swingers convention.
1917, first NHL game played. Montreal Canadiens, Montreal Wanderers.
Who did Colucci have in that one?
Canadiens by 3 pucks.
Okay. Sorry, we got to stop with the inside jokes. That's just terrible.
1955, Carl Perkins records Blue Suede Shoes.
Hey now.
There you go. 1960, Frank Sinatra records Ring-a-Ding Ding.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a song. I'm just reading.
No clue.
Yeah. 64, the Supremes hit #1 with Come See About Me.
That's the song I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1971, Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange premieres.
I will never not
Speaking
be
of
disturbed.
strange.
Yeah, I will never not be disturbed by that film.
84, Wayne Gretzky scores his 1,000th NHL point. Boy, that's hard to say. 1,000th.
1,000th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded like you earlier today.
Bit my tongue earlier. I couldn't talk for a minute.
1984, Britain and China sign Hong Kong agreement that sets terms for Hong Kong's 1997 handover.
Okay.
1990, Bo Jackson named NFL Pro Bowl and MLB All-Star. There's a college athlete named Bo Jackson right now. Am I right?
You can't do that to your kid.
It was in the Indiana-Ohio State game. Shows you how much I've paid. I mean, I know what these teams are and where they've been, but they're individual players. There's a Bo Jackson out there.
All right.
97, James Cameron's Titanic premieres.
Which site are you on?
Huh?
Which site are you on? Are you on Britannica's for your history? Or you're on the other one?
I did some other things.
Okay. The way they describe it, James Cameron's Titanic, a drama about the doomed ocean liner.
Oh, is it?
Is that what it's about? Is that what Titanic's about?
When it came out, that's what it wasn't about for me.
No. No. I'm gonna draw you naked.
Hey, bro, did you see that movie? No, man. At basketball practice. 1998, speaking, it is a good segue. U.S. President Bill Clinton impeached. House approves articles for perjury and obstruction.
Okay.
Yeah. You got anything else, or I can move?
This day in 2000, you know what happened on this day in 2006?
No.
The Canal Street streetcar was back in service after Katrina.
Hey.
First time since Katrina, the Canal Street streetcar was back up in service this day in 2026. Well, 2006.
Yes.
Not 2026.
Well, we're not there yet.
That's the future.
Yeah. Celebrity birthdays, Jay Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
Alyssa Milano.
Ooh.
Kareem Benzema, famous English or French football player.
Okay.
Soccer. Richard Hammond, you may know him from the British TV show Top Gear.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Jennifer Beals.
Yep.
Did we mention her earlier today? No. I mean, Flashdance, obviously.
Yeah.
Any celebrity birthdays you have?
I have a number of them.
Sure.
We got add Reggie White to that mix.
Yeah.
Leonid Brezhnev, former Soviet Union president, Leonid Brezhnev.
Mm-hmm.
And Cicely Tyson's in the mix, as is Professor Longhair.
Yep. Which is the namesake for the Tipitinas, right? Or is that the image?
Yes.
Okay. Notable death, Desmond Llewellyn. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. The actor who's more famous for playing Q in the James Bond films.
Okay, cool.
Sally Ann Howes, star of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, top 5.
And that is all the deaths I have.
I also had on birthdays Tip O'Neill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about National Days?
Ugly Sweater Day, Brian.
No.
Oatmeal Muffin Day, check. Hard Candy Day. An Emo Day is mixed in there.
Emo Day?
Yeah.
We just got a bad set of days today.
Underdog Day.
All right.
International Human Solidarity Day.
Okay.
Promoted by the UN to support unity.
All right.
Which is the only thing I think of is Chappelle.
Yes. Yeah, Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. We need
that
to go,
became a thing. I
No.
want to say, what, 10, 15 years ago?
thereabouts. But the thing is, like, people buy intentionally ugly sweaters now. It's the whole point of ugly Christmas sweater days is supposed to be ironical, right? You're supposed to wear a sweater that was meant to just be a sweater, not meant to be an ugly sweater. If the whole intent was to make it an ugly sweater,
Yeah, the
you've
original
ruined
intention weren't they were
right.
people
They
thought they were
sweaters.
nice. Yeah.
Right. You looked like an SNL character, and that's fine.
And now
But-
you can intentionally buy them ugly.
Yes.
Mm.
You know what you can buy now that I've got to get. I'm going to remedy this.
Those suits in a box?
No, I'm going to get the sweatshirt that says, "Now I have a machine gun." Ho ho ho.
I have seen an advent calendar of the tower.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah.
And Hans Gruber falls the whole way
Right,
through.
Yes, he does.
We are we're running long. We're at 8:15 Talk 107.3 FM. Quick break, come back. We'll check in with Alice Glenn from New Orleans and Company next. What you say, boss? You making it this morning? Doing well. 30 to 14. Seattle scored like this. Yeah. Punt return touchdown. Raheem Shaheed of all people. Yeah. Scores a touchdown and then they score again. 2 points. Yep. Takes little fingers. Ruby takes a 60 and Rasheed. Yeah. I saw that 60-yarder. I was like, where was this? Yeah. Nowhere to be found. That's fine. I'll take Charlie Smith. I'll take Charlie. He's got a better story. Yes. Yeah, let them keep that child, Blake Grippy. We'll take the foreign Irishman.
Remember him walking around Radio Row and like, why do the Saints walk around like a flag football kid?
Yeah. So, where's your babysitter? Can you even drive at night? Mm-hmm. 818 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. I'm going to head down to New Orleans here in just a quick second. Do need to remind you about the Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch and Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. We had Tiger Joyce on with us last week talking about Louisiana being a judicial hellhole. We are number 4 in the country when it comes to judicial hellholes. We had Lana Venable on with us last week, also from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch, with a follow-up to pretty much the same topic. Where are we now? Where are we headed? If you want to learn more, visit talk1073.com. All of our content is online, courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. But those 2 conversations in particular, talking about Louisiana being a judicial hellhole, number 4 in the nation. How can we dig ourselves out? Well, hear from Tiger, hear from Lana over at talk1073.com. All right, time for us to head down to New Orleans to talk a little Vision 2035, putting together a 10-year plan. What does it look like? Alice Glenn, an executive vice president over at New Orleans and Company, joins us. Alice, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Brian. It's great to be with you again. Thanks so much for having me on.
No, glad to have you on. Glad to be talking about this because I know it's, we get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on in New Orleans whenever we visit, and it's good to like step back a little bit, zoom out, and try to paint a broader picture. So tell me about Vision 2035.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The zoom out is really key. So, we did a tourism master plan back in 2009 that identified some critical needs, not just for New Orleans, but really for the region. It was things like a new airport, which I know, listeners there in your area use our international airport regularly, and, supercharging the riverfront, and so many different things that really directly impacted the hospitality industry. But when we decided that it was time to update that 2009 plan, we looked at some of the things that had not been accomplished and some of the things that we all know are critical needs. And we realized these are not just issues that affect visitors. These are things that residents, workers, folks from around the region who may be coming to school or doing different trainings or things that everyone needs. So what we decided to do was create, in partnership with many organizations from around the region, a comprehensive 10-year-long roadmap that's really designed to make the whole region function more harmoniously as a great place to live, learn, work, and therefore it will be a great place to visit.
Who are a few of the partners that are in on this plan?
Yeah, so we formed a steering committee with New Orleans and Company, of course, leading, but with 5 other organizations, the Greater New Orleans Foundation, GNO Inc., the Urban League of Louisiana, JEDCO, which is the regional Jefferson Parish Economic Chamber, and the New Orleans Chamber of Commerce. So that was our steering committee. And then we talked to over 250 other stakeholders, so leaders from around the community that represent a number of different industries and organizations, subject matter experts across government and other sectors.
Well, let's get into the plan a little bit. Talk with Alice Glenn from New Orleans and Company about the Vision 2035. Let's get into the plan. What does phase 1 include?
Well, the first thing was identifying what the leverage points were, right? Like, what are the things that are most impacting residents and visitors alike? And so we identified 10 different opportunities, and I won't go into all of them in detail, but just to give you a flavor. Reliable transportation and regional connectivity. That's everything from getting to and from the region, right? From, direct flights and having additional airlift, to how do you get from the airport to downtown, or maybe even the airport to Baton Rouge, right? That's something we've been talking about for years and years. And then just generally connecting from neighborhoods to workers. We think a lot in the hospitality industry about how to get workers into the French Quarter without having to pay for parking and different things that are real challenges for some of our workforce. Looking at prosperity for small business and creating more opportunity for entrepreneurs, making the region a more youth and family-friendly place. And this is really key. I'd love to highlight just a little bit on that topic, especially just to give you an idea of what we're trying to do when we shape this plan.
Yeah, go for it.
Youth-friendly means a lot of different things, right? For us in the hospitality space, if we're looking at attracting visitation, youth sports is a huge growing industry for travel. Anybody with young kids can tell you that they're traveling all over the place, spending most, if not all, of their weekends and summers on youth sports. So that's an opportunity for us in the hospitality leadership space. But it's equally as important for there to be great places for the kids who live in our communities to play. But it's not just about sports. It's also about...
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No sweat. So talking about, high quality education, and another workforce issue for us is high quality childcare for our employees. So making the region a more youth and family friendly place can mean so many different things depending on, what industry you're representing or what your perspective is, but creating that leverage point that allows us to put a coalition of folks together to identify what the key opportunities and then ultimately map out a strategy for how to achieve them or improve them.
Let's stick with the youth sports for a second, because I'm kind of intrigued by this. We're going to have this discussion numerous times, Alice, to break down all of it. Because I find a lot of it very, very interesting, but there's challenges along the way. When it comes to youth sports, having available land is a big part of that equation. How do you do that in New Orleans?
Well, that highlights, again, one of the core strategies here, and that's that this is a regional plan. You're absolutely right. We don't necessarily have available land in the city center, but, any great city is a city of neighborhoods, and it's a city that, maybe doesn't necessarily adhere to the boundaries of the parish or the city lines in order to make sure that all of the assets that our community needs are considered and brought to bear. So, I know there in Baton Rouge, I was actually just reading a story in the paper this morning about the Marucci tournament that brought teams in as far as South Korea.
Yeah.
So looking at this truly as a regional opportunity, folks are going to fly into our airport most likely when they're coming in internationally to visit Baton Rouge. Maybe they're going to the North Shore to play in that tournament. Maybe they're going to Jefferson Parish. They're looking at some facilities and development plans that I think would be mutually beneficial for all of us. But maybe you're going to stay a day or two in downtown New Orleans, and so everyone benefits. I think when you consider regionally how you can provide and enhance the assets that you have.
So I know when we talk youth sports, baseball and soccer rise to the top all the time, but I'm a basketball dad. My daughter was playing on an AAU team, and last year we were in Bell Chase. I didn't know General de Gaulle ended, but we were somewhere at the end of General de Gaulle. So but it pops up everywhere in small pockets and large chunks at the same time.
Absolutely. We have a number of youth sports tournaments that happen in the convention center, volleyball, gymnastics, some other things that, need indoor space. But again, looking at, what are the growing sports? What are the needs? And where are the holes in what we're currently providing? Or where can we improve existing facilities? I know there's work being done in Jefferson Parish on a natatorium. That's something that I think is really lacking statewide. And swimming is another growing sport and, growing competitive sport too. So I think no question, there's opportunity across the spectrum.
Okay. I derailed you there. After youth sports, you had what next?
Oh gosh. Well, there's plenty more. All good. Looking at high quality green space, we've got City Park, world-class asset here in New Orleans, Audubon Park, and all of the things that live under their umbrella, but also the riverfront is green space. Looking at the lakefront and what can be done to really enhance opportunities there. And again, on and on. One of the other leverage points that we've been looking at that's really important and broad is maintaining a world-class regional asset portfolio. So that's obviously things like the Superdome, the Smoothie King Center, the Convention Center. But even just here within New Orleans, we're looking at a convention center headquarters hotel that we believe is critical to continuing to drive growth in the hospitality industry. The Municipal Auditorium here in Tremé, right on the outskirts of the French Quarter. And again, on and on. Really, we feel like we're at a moment in time where there's just really unlimited opportunity. And if we can get some of these things right, great for visitation, really key for driving growth in our industry, but really critically important for the people of our region too, to be able to enjoy.
I've got like 30 more questions, but we've only got a minute left.
Oh gosh.
Want to squeeze into this minute. Just walk me through where the plan goes from here, because it's all very rough and raw right now. So how do you start to, fine tune it?
That's right. It's a framework at this point. Absolutely. Yeah. So 10 leverage points next get moved into an implementation phase where we build cohorts of subject matter experts around those leverage points to put together a plan that really considers where does government need to lead, whether that's state, city, federal, right? Things like regional transportation need probably state and federal interventions. And then where does the business community and the nonprofit sector plug in and design a plan most effectively that takes in all of the voices of those participants at the table.
She is Alice Glenn with New Orleans & Company. We always appreciate the time. Thank you so much for hopping on board.
Always grateful to be with you. Have a great one. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well. In fact, I'll be down that way next week for the New Orleans Bowl. All right, we got just a quick minute before we hit news here at the bottom of the hour. The Foodie Friday will be on the way. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Breck. And of course, told you earlier on in the show, Breck picking up numerous awards and accolades this year, taking you to the 2025 Louisiana Recreation and Park Association's annual state conference. Breck was cited for their Innovation and Conservation Award. They were cited for the Award for Health Equity, Innovation and Health Award, Outstanding Youth Professional Award, and a whole lot more. You want to learn more? Hit up breck.org. All right, well, I'm counting that. It was 30 seconds, but I'm counting it. Oh. Okay. Oh, hey. I don't know last names of these guys, so when we're doing the segment, just can you attest to them so you can get around with it?
Hey, there you go.
That's an upgrade.
I just gotta make sure it's warm. How long do we have? Like
About 3 minutes.
okay. Let me go.
This is still. Oh, you can't put that in the microwave.
No, I was gonna put it in a bowl.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah, I brought bowl.
You want me to put the relish in here?
Yeah, go ahead and mix it up. Yeah. Just gotta hit it for like a minute in the microwave.
You have any idea how many? I'll put 2.
It's about 2/3 of that jar.
This is real progress. So thank you, the great people of Louisiana, for allowing us to serve you.
How's everything going, Brian?
Been busy, man.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, Moon. I've been texting him this week and said, "Hey, man, I want to see if I can come on this week, just do a quick call in."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, call me at 9 o'clock on Friday." with Brian, and I come up and he's sitting right across from your home.
Yeah, he's in town today. So that works out well, huh?
I realized that, yeah.
You want to go? What you got in there, shrimp? Yeah, it's just shrimp. Okay, just need to know what I'm talking about.
Go pop that in the microwave for me. Just like
a minute.
.836 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. About to get Foodie Friday cranked up. We got the guys from Ragin Cajun in today. We got Ryan, we got Frank, we got Jack, we got the whole crew in. About to get rolling in just a minute. I do need to remind you about the folks at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. As you're starting to map out your plans for 2026, any business travel you got coming up, give flybtr.com a look. And don't just look at the just straight ticket price. Take a look at the whole experience here. Think about it. If you're not flying out of Baton Rouge, you do have to drive an hour down the road. You will pay exorbitant prices for parking. You will have to drive an hour back home after going through the slog of your travel. So take into account the whole experience. Flybtr.com, offering more and more options seemingly every day. They get you cranking. Direct flight to Washington, D.C. That's what I'm doing to go to Washington Mardi Gras, is flying out of our own backyard, taking advantage of a great business in our backyard, making sure we're taking care of our own. Flybtr.com is the website. All right. It is time to do a little Foodie Friday. And we had, I guess about half a year ago, maybe 6 months.
It's been too long.
Has it been that long? It's been way long.
Jack, how long has it been? 2 months.
It's way longer than 2 months. Yeah. The folks from Ragin Cajun were in with us.
You know, Jack, he's been out of school for about 7 minutes, and he says he's bored already. I said, how many kids get to come down and be on the radio?
Right? Huh? We got Ragin Cajun in the house once again, talking about everything they've got going on. Welcome back, guys. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We got Frank here. Frank's on the Ragin Cajun team. I think you've met him. He does some of our sales work out there, making sure the stores look good and stock all the product. We got my son Jack here. He's been a little quiet, but glad to be back, man. We got some good food for you.
I'm looking forward to it because last time y'all were around, you hit a home run with everything you had. Just I want to go back and start over. Just skip the last time we were here. Start over and tell a story of how Ragin Cajun came to be.
Yeah, great question. So we're based out of Lafayette. Everything we make is right there at our own plant in Lafayette. I've been here about 5.5 years, coming up on 5.5 years. But the brand's actually been around. I call it like a 40-year-old startup. The brand's been around since about the mid-1980s.
Okay.
It was started by an ex-Major League Baseball pitcher from Lake Charles, a guy named Ray Fontenot. He went to the majors, pitched, came back, and said, "Hey, I want to start a food company." And that's how the brand started. And then over time, our company basically bought the brand back in about 1990, and then we relaunched it about 3 years ago. About 4 years ago, I'd say.
One of the hardest things to do in Louisiana, where we take pride in everything we do in our own kitchen.
Sell a packaged food product.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
We're very aware.
I've put that on the tee for you. Take it from there. How do you cross that threshold?
Yeah, good. That's why we got my man Frank. Hang on, Frank. We're gonna get some wisdom from Frank here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Don't give away all the secrets, though.
I cook a lot of stuff from scratch usually, but this product is as good as a scratch product because everything you need's in it. Yeah. It's all about the seasoning that we use in our products to make it taste the way it tastes. Like I'll give you an example: black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you got to get a perfect mix of the Trinity, and you got to get a perfect mix of the spices, and you got to get everything, a certain way. With that bag of black-eyed peas right there, you do exactly what's on the back, and you use the seasoning packet. Comes out perfect every time.
The black-eyed peas, the last time you all were in here, I brought home a couple bags of these and hit them all in the crock pot. And, you want to talk about, when you talk about convenience for a parent, a father of three, if it's my turn to cook dinner and I can set that thing before I leave in the morning, come home at the end of the day, and it's just there ready to go. That is convenience at its core.
Absolutely. That's what I actually did last night. I just threw it in the crock pot, turned it on low, and let her rip, and it was ready to go this morning.
Now, convincing the kids to try black eyed peas is another thing. But once I got them trying it, I couldn't get them to stop. Yeah.
I did. The one I did today, I actually took 2 pork steaks and put them in the bottom of the pot, then dumped the seasoning pack on it. You get the seasoning pack inside of the bag, and then dumped in the water and then the black eyed peas. So it's kind of like that thing just fell out. It had one bone in it, and I pulled it out this morning, just pulled right out. So
awesome stuff.
How many people can say they can cook a restaurant quality seafood bisque in 25 minutes?
See, not many. I mean, it's seemingly impossible, and that's what I'm talking about when you're talking to Louisiana. Is that convincing to get them over the threshold? That's what y'all brought today was seafood bisque.
Yes, sir.
We got today we got seafood, Ragin Cajun seafood bisque. We've got our seasoned black eyed peas that we talked about, and then we got a little twist on a traditional holiday recipe here. So we've got our Ragin Cajun sweet jalapeno relish mixed with a can of cranberry sauce.
Okay.
Just whole cranberry, dump it out, dump half a jar of Ragin Cajun jalapeno relish in, put that over some cream cheese. Good to go.
All right. So if you were hitting up any kind of Christmas party on, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, you need that, you're bringing that appetizer that nobody else has.
Party dip,
this is one
charcuterie board.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to try as much as I can during the break, because y'all got a lot going on today. I'm going to try as much as I can go on, during the break. But walk us through a little bit of, what's been new. What are the best sellers? What do you got going on?
Yeah. So the newest thing actually is the Ragin Cajun black eyed peas. I brought a box here. We actually just got this into Costco. So if you shop Costco anywhere, Baton Rouge, Covington, New Orleans, or Lafayette, you can find a 3-pack of our black eyed peas. Big red pallet. Would appreciate anybody going in and picking that up. And just hit the clubs. And obviously it's a big New Year's item. It's a New Year's tradition for good luck.
Yes,
we tell a little story on the side about, hey, everybody needs a little more luck in their life, and go in and pick up a 3-pack and cook one for New Year's Eve, one for New Year's Day, and give one to your friends or family.
And then we also have, due to our grocery stores, all-purpose breading. You want to cook some chicken?
Okay. Okay.
Get that all-purpose. You cook some Yardbirds you ain't never tasted before.
Let's be very clear for the radio audience. It's not all-purpose.
Y'all-purpose. Well, we started with the y'all-purpose seasoning.
Okay.
And that thing kind of took off. It's just a good all-purpose. Sprinkle it on your French fries, chicken, whatever.
What's the difference between the y'all-purpose seasoning and the original Cajun?
The original. So the original is our flagship item, right? That's what's got the Trinity in it. It's got a little celery, bell pepper, onion, garlic. The original is going to have a little more heat than the y'all.
Okay.
And the y'all is going to be a little less on the celery. So y'all's a little more for your topping. The originals, I like to say, it's the best cooking seasoning you can get. The original Cajun seasoning from Ragin Cajun.
Back to the breading. Let's talk about this a little bit, because this is going to be a game changer in the Haldane house. I'm seeing it right now. 3 steps to make fried chicken, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's your one breading you need. So it's a mix of corn flour and wheat flour. So traditionally, your fish fries are going to have more corn, either cornmeal or corn flour, real crispiness.
Mm-hmm.
And then your chicken breading is going to have more of the wheat flour for the covers. This is basically a mix of both with the seasoning. So you can use it on chicken, fish, shrimp, veggies.
You egg washing it or just straight
egg
in?
Washing.
Egg washed in
You
there?
can egg wash or wet wash.
Okay.
Either way. Yeah.
Okay. That's it's egg washing in there. It's literally 3 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're trying.
That's the perfect thing about all our products.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, Jack cooks a lot of this stuff for Ryan. Ryan won't admit it, but that goes on in the house a little bit.
I think he woke up in the middle of the night and turned on the crock pot.
People getting started in cooking,
mm-hmm.
you can start with these products.
Instructions are right on the back.
And all those young guys looking to impress a date, if you cook that bisque, she'll think you are a gourmet chef.
All right, so I'm supposed to wait until the break, but I'm gonna try the bisque right now while y'all talk about what goes into it.
So the bisque, basically, you take the fully seasoned bisque mix, comes in the box, and then you add half and half. You add a can of corn, a pound of shrimp, and water, and that's it. What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
25 minutes.
No,
you do it in the stovetop crock pot.
It's smooth. It's creamy.
Why is Moon Griffon here?
And a lot of
he's
people
doing a show coming up half hour.
And a lot of people don't know this. In fact, Peyton White, one of our friends at Ragin Cajun, cuts back on the liquid that he puts in that, and he actually uses it as a shrimp dip.
Make a dip or a crock pot or a little cream sauce. You put put less liquid
So-
in it, and it gets thicker. You can make it as a,
It's smooth and creamy on the front end, and has a lot of pop on the back end.
All
There's,
right,
there's no
Brian.
shortage of seasoning on that.
yeah. You don't need to add any additional seasoning.
The
It's
shrimp
already-
and the corn that are in it, really bubble up to the top as well. But it starts with the creamy and then moves to the spicy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you down a road here.
Okay.
Imagine some nice fried catfish.
Okay.
With
That
that
as a sauce.
on top
Oh.
as a sauce.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in for that.
We
So
sell.
you would reduce to do that? Are the
You reduce the liquid.
Instructions are right on the back. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of a cup of water, you might add either half a cup or maybe even no water and just go with half and half.
Yeah, I mean, because like stovetop directions, you got the box, you got the quarter, half and half for heavy cream, 1 cup water, 1 pound seafood of choice, which we might want to, I might want to double up on that, go shrimp and crab, but that's just me.
If I had money like Frank, I would have put crab in it, but crab's
You
a
know,
little
if I
expensive
sell a
these
little
days.
more, maybe we could
That's
afford some
right.
crab next
Go
time.
buy- yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, subtract the water and you've got a great sauce right there on
Yeah.
top of it.
Or go. I did half and half with this, but you can go heavy cream and it's a little bit thicker too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just think about putting it over pasta.
Also great. Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to disagree with you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it pops on its own. It does. There's no reason to
Enhance it.
You're right.
Just let it
It
roll.
pops on its own. It is its own creation. I would put it over fried catfish for sure. Might even put it over fried chicken, but
Crawfish cakes.
Yep.
So you'll find this
also good
in the store. A lot of people say, "Well, where do I find it?" So it's in all the local grocery stores.
They got you at Mathern's.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Mathern. Met Tony Mathern actually at the grand opening they did over on the new
Kenilworth?
store. Yeah. Good, great store.
Yeah, I saw y'all in. I saw the packaging in there.
Yeah, good chain. But yeah, so basically it's with the rest of our Ragin' Cajun box dinner. So you'll see the seafood bisque. We got things like shrimp and grits.
Wait, is the shrimp and grits new?
Shrimp and grits, it's fairly new. I don't know.
We
if you've
didn't
seen
do
that
this one
yet.
last time. No, I have not seen this. I'm a big shrimp and grits guy.
So it's a seasoned grit pack inside of that, and there's a shrimp seasoning mix. So you just basically cook your shrimp, cook the grits, spoon the shrimp right over on top of the grits.
Oh wow!
You don't have to go to a restaurant,
Yeah, no, and I'm looking at on the directions. I'm looking. I always look at number of steps because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's about
We're all busy, right?
Right, exactly. It's what can I serve my family in a timely manner,
And it's a good portion, I'd say too, Brian. Like you're going to feed at least, I'd say four very hungry people, but five people on average.
Okay.
This
okay.
bisque made a whole pot of seafood bisque,
which I'm about to dig back in on. Well, no, I've got to try everything else, but oh my goodness, I'm going back to the bisque for sure. But no, like the shrimp and grits, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total ingredients.
Yeah.
To me, that's half of the problem with cooking at home is having 20, 25 ingredients into something. It's like I've already spent half my paycheck to get everything at the grocery store, and I'm only going to use like one of this, one of that, one of this, one of that, and I'm spending an hour chopping things.
Yeah, we do all that for you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think the stigma of cooking something out of a box, this stuff's still homemade. We just do it in bigger batches and put it in a box.
Awesome.
It's still homemade at our plant right there in Lafayette.
We have a whole saying that I'm eating out tonight and the joke is out of a box. Well, let me tell you, when you're eating out of that, you're eating out of a restaurant, not out of a box.
They squeeze a whole restaurant into a box.
Yep.
The shrimp and grits is one I've got to try as well. The what else is on the menu?
So we got black eyed peas. So we got our seasoned black eyed peas. I think we talked about that. Just made them with some pork steaks. So put them in the bottom of the crock pot, set it on low, dump the seasoning pack inside of it. Seasoning pack comes inside the bag, and then just added water and the black eyed peas. So that was it. And then we got our jalapeno relish mixed with cranberries.
Well, and that's the one I want to try first. Is the jalapeno relish with the cranberry as we go into break, which we are coming up on break. Okay, so on air, we're going to catch your money now. We'll catch a quick break and get traffic. Come back. I'll give you the full review on the back end. On Facebook Live, stay tuned because we're about to dig in and dig in a whole lot more. Ragin' Cajuns in the house, and they brought a lot with them. So stick around right here on Talk 107.3.
All right, man. Jump in. I'm going to get the black eyed peas over here.
Yeah, I noticed that at Costco last week. They did 3-pack.
Did you see it? Yeah. Good. Yeah. That's my next stop actually to go and.
Because the black eyed peas, the first time y'all brought it in it, we did it in the Instant Pot. It was so easy.
Yeah.
Pork, that seasoning was perfect.
Yeah, that seasoning pack has basically got the Trinity. It's got a couple extra pieces to it, and it's got our original Cajun seasoning in it.
I use that breakfast one in my pancakes and all stuff.
Oh, do you?
Oh, You know what I used the breakfast one on for Thanksgiving? I used it on a ham.
Oh, I bet that's good.
I got plenty of food if y'all want to. I don't know, William, if you want to get in.
You
here.
want to?
I probably need a few
Yeah,
bowls.
we have our. I know, and everybody's got the day off. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guarantee you, Russia showed up strictly for the food, and he's going right back home.
I don't know. Who's here.
There you go, Brian. There's a little. There was a roll of paper towels somewhere.
There is. Did it start printing when you put it in there? Okay.
That one on there. Oh, thanks, man.
You running Louisiana Marathon this year?
Yeah, what do you think of the jalapeno cranberry?
Do we have the? Are we getting codes?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to do the 5K again.
The candiedness. Okay. I was expecting more jalapeno than candy. The candiedness, the sweetness comes out first because of the way it's pairing with the cranberry.
And then the jalapeno hits you on the back end.
Yep.
And the texture is perfect, man. And you see how it mixes together. And it's like, spice up your cranberry sauce, dress up a little different. A lot of people will put our jalapeno relish mixed with cream cheese, but we said, hey, let's try it with some cranberry sauce.
Who runs a lot. They're like, hey man, we can do it under like 45 minutes.
Try it without the cream cheese.
Yeah. So I would do it. And literally, it was like there was a Newcastle shirt on. I'm not gonna buy this. My wife
So it's hard to describe how the sweet and the tart come together. It's because it's all things. It's sweet, it's tart, and then it's a little bit of spice. Not a whole lot of spice, a little bit of spicy on the back end. That's unbelievably good. I'd stick with the cream cheese though, because it adds texture to it. So
smell like there's food in this.
There's a little bit.
And when you walk up the thing, you smell little food. I mean, all of it. Huh?
I'm getting you a bowl.
Giving on right there. Hey, don't put much in them in.
Hey, you
No.
we got to fatten you back up.
I
Man. I'm
know.
getting
I'm
worried
not
about
fatting back up. I just got down. You trying to get me back up?
No, man.
I don't appreciate that. I do want to try one thing though. Brian, did you eat something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
try.
gotta do a full review on all this stuff.
Tell somebody I'll try.
That's a lot.
Hey, man.
It's good with the cranberry, right?
When you take the jalapeno pickles and put that over the top, that's a big hit.
Yep. Well, cranberry it's just kind
I'm
of
a
it's got
big
kind of a tart.
cranberry guy.
It's like sweet, spicy,
Sweet and tart.
and tart.
And
Yeah,
tart.
It's kind of a good.
I got to eat delicious.
Yeah, I could go with this all day long.
If you go all day long, can I just stay here with you?
Yeah. No, we'll just keep it going for your show. We'll just eat through your show.
And Brian, I want to mention too, before I forget that we just got this into Walmart. We're
Mhm.
trying to get people to run in there to.
You got any
pick it
plastic
up.
spoons?
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a problem with. I didn't bring it. All I have is my own. And that's William. If you want some. It looks hungry.
All right. 8:54, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We got about 5.5 minutes left with the guys from Ragin Cajun as Foodie Friday rolls right along. Let me give you the full review on everything here because start with the seafood bisque. It is phenomenal, y'all. The creaminess that leads the way, lends to a good, solid, spicy heat pop. It's not overbearing. It's just a solid heat that comes along with it. It's fantastic. The black-eyed peas, I don't know another way to say this other than you don't realize you're eating black-eyed peas. The way the seasoning blends in with it, it's like it's all about the seasoning and less about the pea, which is good because a lot of people don't like black-eyed peas. But it is a New Year, like you said, it's a New Year's tradition. And if you're going at it with this, and you said you put some pork steak in the bottom there, oh my gosh, what a blend. What an absolute blend. And the seasoning rules the day on this one for sure. It steps up to the top. Now, go back to the top of the charts there with the we'll call it the hors d'oeuvre. You have the cranberry and candied jalapeno on top of the cream cheese, on top of the cracker. That might be the one of the biggest levels of diversity within flavor I've ever had, because it's sweet, it's tart, and then there's just a little bit of spicy. I don't like. How do you curb the jalapeno to not be like, kicking the sweet out of the way?
So it's a little bit of a secret, but we basically take a fresh jalapeno. We don't take a pickled jalapeno.
Okay.
And then we grind it and cure it with cane sugar and some other processes. So the freshness of the jalapeno allows more absorption. Whereas if you took a pickled one, it's already pickled, so it's harder to absorb. And then when we grind the jalapeno, it soaks up more of the sugar. I just gave away all the secrets.
Well, no, but who's going to that trouble? You've got it in a jar already. It's already done for y'all.
It's ready to go, yeah.
It is an unbelievable combination between the three. And when you add it to the cranberry, I skip cranberry sauce. I don't care for it. But when you add it to that is a different level. It's a completely different flavor profile. And like I said, just a little bit of heat on the back end.
Some kind of fun and different.
It absolutely is. It is a game changer for flavor. In the meanwhile, run us through the rest of the products. What are we not looking at today that your folks are going to find in the stores?
Yeah, so you basically can find our full line of seasonings in most of your grocery stores. We just got the original Cajun seasoning, which is our flagship item.
Mm-hmm.
We use that as the staple in the black eyed peas, all the dinners. Just got that into Walmart. So if you shop at Walmart, run to the seasoning aisle, pick that up. But otherwise, if you go to any of your local grocery stores, Rouse's, you mentioned Mathern's, Alexander's. They all carry pretty much the whole line. So it's Ragin Cajun seasonings. We do all of our box dinners, including the seafood bisque, which you tried, shrimp and grits we talked about, the new breading. We make jambalaya gumbo, and then we've got a line of seasoned beans. So pick up your black eyed peas, red beans, seasoned red beans, 10 beans. Then we've got our jalapeno products. Those are over in the pickles section typically. So sweet jalapeno relish, and we got a slice version as well. And then, of course, our sauces. We cook roux. We do a 6-hour slow cook roux, which is just flour and oil. Dark roux. I brought you a whole box of a little bit of everything.
That's awesome.
So we make roux, etouffee Creole sauce, and then we just launched a new chili. So how many items do we have now? Like 50. We got a lot of.
We got. Brian's a little absorbent. We got 25.
Okay.
25 good items, and it's typically scattered in most of the regular parts of the store. You're going to look through.
So I'm gonna hit y'all with one, and we only got 2 minutes left, so I gotta be quick about this. Last time you brought some of the blackened seasoning with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did something with it that I didn't know how it was going to play. I put it on, a little teaspoon of butter, handful of baby spinach, and then the blackened seasoning on top of that. You want to talk about a healthy, unbelievably healthy, because you're eating spinach,
absolutely.
right? But and then only a little bit of butter, but
nothing wrong with that.
An absolute game changer of flavor on that front as well. Combining that blackened, I didn't know how it was going to play. I figured I'd try it, mess around with it a little bit. And it came out to perfection.
Like that. Yeah.
So and that's the whole thing, right? Experiment.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
Exactly.
And
if you mess it up, just
the blackened's my favorite.
Oh, same.
In fact, sometimes I use it instead of our Cajun seasoning products on stuff I do.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the whole point though, is like you have the ability, like if you're putting the black eyed peas in the crock pot, put your own spin on it.
That's right.
Put your own spin. It's perfection to begin with, but put your own spin on it as well. In the meanwhile, guys, I can't thank you enough for hopping back in here. As we're in the holiday season, y'all, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. People are out on the go a lot. You don't need to spend a whole lot of time in your own kitchen when you're prepping for everybody else's holiday party. So make sure you're taking advantage of all the great products that Ragin Cajun has to offer. Thank y'all so much for coming in today.
Thank y'all. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas, y'all. All right, we have got to get out of here. Moon's coming up next, which means we're going to have a quick turnaround in the studio. We will be back at it on Monday. We will be back at it on Tuesday. After that, we'll be shutting it down for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and spending a little bit of time with family. So thank you all so much for hopping on board and playing along with us today. Thank you to all my guests. If you missed any of it, all the interviews are available individually on demand at talk1073.com, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Highly recommend checking it out. We had a number of great conversations. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
man.
Yes.
Thank you.
This bisque is freaking phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
I think we got to move out.
Nice guy. You want to take it with
Thank
you?
you once
No,
again.
nice
We
guy.
appreciate
I've already
you.
eaten. Everything in the bowl is gone. You got to worry about me. Man, you got all this food, man.
I'm gonna try and we're gonna do our best to clear it out.
I just got to make sure I'm walking into the. Once we do that, we good to go. Just take your time, get your stuff.
Get my shit out of the way. get you in here,
Yeah, you just,
and
you
then
got one less spot. We good.